Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome with Demetra, Kaye, Democrats. On Thursday, we decided to do this show. It is a show that we used to do years ago called Don't Believe the Hype, where we ask people to go beneath the surface of things that you've heard or read and to verify and see if it's true for yourself, because people can tell you anything, right? And so I would like to say hello to Facebook and YouTube for being the other side of the conversation. Also like to ask you right off the top if you can share and like it so that everybody else can get the information. Also like to thank Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes in making the show go just a little bit further. But today we are going to start off with talking about Shaun King, but not really talking about Shaun King, because I'm going to draw a point to what it is I'm going to say. And then Donovan, what are you going to talk about today? We're just going to kind of go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to go for it, but I want to talk about, I don't know if you saw where, what's his name? Powernomics author.
Dr. Claude Anderson?
Dr. Claude Anderson, he had made a statement. Now you guys heard about the infrastructure bill. And remember, I've been saying Black people ain't going to benefit off that. They're taking more money, giving it to the people that already have it. Dr. Claude Anderson verified exactly what I was saying. If anybody had their eyes open, it's just another giveaway to white supremacy and to keep the powers that be in power, making Black people, I mean, they're outright doing it now, making Black people a permanent underclass. If you think we're on our way to being a permanent, no, we're already there. We're already there. They're doing it. They're putting it in place right now.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to read you guys' comments before we get started, just to give everybody a chance to get on here really quick so they don't say, what are we talking about? So the Pioneer, how are you doing today? I see you were on very early. And you say, let me start it off by saying, as long as he isn't stealing the money or hurting people, he being Shaun King, he should make however much he wants to make. I'm not comfortable with the idea of limiting people's money. So it's a good point. And hey, King Maya, I hope I said that right. Says none. Laugh out loud. And Anais, how you doing? Jafia, you say, hey, the Pioneer, hope you're having a great day. And hello to you. And who else is on here? And you also say, Jafia, I don't know how much Shaun King, much about Shaun King. All I know, he is white. Okay, well, we're going to get into that. And so let's go ahead and get started for time's sake. And of course, we can talk about whatever else you guys want to talk about. But I'm going to go ahead and put Shaun King's picture up here just so you guys will know what we're talking about. Okay, so I just want to start this off and just be very clear, okay? I don't want to get into whether he is white or whether he is Black. I actually have read Shaun King's book. You get it? Well, it's not important. It's back there. Read his book. And even before the book, you know, he has explained why he is Black and he is white. And that's kind of, I guess I'll get that out the way. And this is not a defense of Shaun King. I will tell you guys that I do like Shaun King. But so on his birth certificate, it says that his mom and his dad are white. Okay. Now, he also went on to say that he did not want to put his mom's business out there. But since people are accusing him of being something he is not, he says that his mom had an affair with a Black man while she was married. You know, got pregnant, and for whatever reason, it wasn't his, you know, dad that's on the birth certificate. And so the rest is history. Now, I'm one of those people that say you can look at Shaun King and tell that he is mixed, but you know, it's to me, that's really neither here or there. So moving along, as you guys may or may not know, Shaun King is an activist who has put a lot of people's cases, whether it's police brutality or, you know, you name it, on the map so that it can get national attention and all of that, right? And so, and he's not only just brought attention to it like a lot of activists do, he has actually gotten things done, people held accountable, like in the Ahmaud Arbery case. You know, that case happened months before anybody had heard about it. Shaun King started to talk about it, and those people involved were arrested and have been indicted and getting ready to go on trial for the cold-blooded murder of Ahmaud Arbery. So I'm saying all that to say is that he is an activist. And the other part of it is he has been accused of taking money. Now, he has provided a few in-depth forensic accounting I don't know, statements or whatever it is by different firms and different things like that to say that he has not stolen any money. There's been a lot of accusations, but nothing really to say here. This is where he's stolen the money. You guys have known that Shaun King has been called Talcum X, play on Malcolm X, saying that he's white, and just a whole bunch of derogatory things. And so recently, Shaun King has gone in. I don't want to say he's gone into hiding. He deleted his Twitter because he said he just needed to take a month off, right, in July. So then he comes back when it was discovered, and a New York Post actually posted that he had purchased a home in New Jersey for $842,000, and it's actually his wife purchased it. She had an FHA loan, standard loan, saved up for the down payment on the house, to which it's him, their 5 children, his wife, obviously, and their mothers live in the house with him. And then all hell broke loose. People got all mad. Oh, how dare him have, a house that's that much, and this, that, and the other. And so when I saw the story, I'm like, do they really got their underwear in a bunch over an $800 and something thousand house? In hell, in California, you can get a house in Compton, 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $1 million. $1 million,
yeah.
$1 million.
Right, about 2 blocks up from me, maybe 3 blocks up from me, there's $750,000 homes.
So people get mad that, him and his wife have moved into an $842,000 house. Again, I wanted to reduce it down to nothing, but hell, it's not really in the larger scheme of things. All right. So then he says that they have to move because, for lack of better words, they've been doxxed, which means that people have put out his information as to where he lives. And he says people have been driving up and down the street, by his house. And so his kids cannot play outside and they are no longer safe. And so they're going to have to move out of the home, unfortunately. Okay. And then so today I read that he's going to start a clothing line. And what happened? The internet goes wild. He's, scamming, and why is this, that, and the other? And so it just dawned on me, like, are activists supposed to be broke? Why do we expect for activists to be broke? And so I came up with this as I was thinking about it. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Okay. So stop thinking people should be broke because you operate from a position of lack. Why do we expect people, and listen, this is not a defense of Shaun King, even though I like him, but I'm not just speaking in general terms, in broader terms. Why do we expect people who put it on the line, you define it, whatever it is, why do we expect for them to have nothing? Malcolm X died with nothing. Nothing. Marcus Garvey, the UNIA, the organization he built, he died with almost nothing. And we're cool with that. And people got mad with Shaun King when he says, I'm hurt, but I'm more so hurt that a lot of brothers and sisters shared this, my home and all that, and laughed at it. And so some people got mad and says, well, so what? And this, that, and the other. And I said, well, I get it. I said, I get it. He puts his life on the line. And let's say he's not black. Let's say he's not black. Is he still helping black people? Is he still doing that? Right? And so everything he does, people expect for it. Like if you didn't know, the book that he wrote, he didn't get a dime out of it. He donated the proceeds to the book. He didn't collect money off of writing the book. I'm one of those people who think that he should have made some money off of the book. It's a really good book, but he didn't. But people will continue on with the lie, defending things they have no knowledge of, and then assert that he should be broke. So it made me think of, stop thinking people should be broke because you operate from a position of lack. Now, what does that mean exactly? That means because you are broke, and I'm not saying you guys in general, I'm just saying you, because I highlighted it. Because you are broke in your thinking to where you probably go to the grocery store and tell your kids, no, you can't have this. No, you can't have that. Or you limit yourself because you're used to living in lack. You think everybody else should be that way. And I think we as humans, we get in the habit of speaking limitations onto other people. Now imagine if somebody that did not like you looked at you and say, well, I don't think they should be driving that car. That's too much. That car's too nice for them. Imagine if they did that to you. You wouldn't like it. Or imagine if they had the power to speak not only limitations on you, but to make that the case for you. You wouldn't like that. You wouldn't want somebody telling you what you should and you should not have. Now back to Shaun King, and I promise I'm gonna get to every one of y'all comments. And I get back to Shaun King. He's got 5 kids, a wife, and 2 mothers, one is mother-in-law and his mother living in that house. Where should he live? Should he live in a shack because you have shack-like thinking? Because in your mind, you living in a shack? In your mind, you think all you should live in is an apartment or wherever it is you living instead of really going after it and getting something you want? Mind you, it's in a New Jersey neighborhood, nowhere in New Jersey, New York, California, or any of these other places like those are cheap. It's just not. So when you see the pictures of his home, it's like, ooh, look at that living room. Oh, he's got a pool too. I mean, you could go to any neighborhood and see a pool. Like where are you at in your thinking to where you think an $842,000 house is extravagant? Where are you at in your thinking? And where are you at in your thinking to where you think you have the right to speak onto somebody else what they should have, how they should live? And Shaun King being an activist, he's not a dumb man. He's got a degree from Morehouse, and before he came onto the scene, this man is well decorated. So y'all don't think that he is maybe utilizing some of his own talents and abilities outside of, the activism that he does? So to me, I'm baffled by that because I'm not one to speak out of limitations or lack. Even if I don't have it, I'm not going to speak that into the universe because I don't want that to become my reality. Oh, I ain't got it, so I ain't going to get it. But stop thinking because you're broke that everybody else should be broke. Change your thinking. Donovan, I'll give it to you before I get to these comments.
Yeah, real quick. Like I said, we got to get to these comments. Real quick. I want to talk about real quick, Shaun King not being black. See, that goes to show you not only do we have a broken mind in how we think in regards to what other people should have when we're, at a certain place where we're at, we're also very, very ignorant. Black people are one of the most ignorant people on the earth. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that in general. The white man's ice cube is colder than the black man's ice cube. We actually believe that as a whole. Now, back in the day when you had an affair, they didn't have DNA back then. The assumption of the law is if you're married and even if your wife has a baby with somebody else outside of that marriage, it is assumed in the law that the father is the father. That's the law, period. So, of course, it's going to say both his parents are white, but it's obvious this man is black. So, again, our ignorance of not looking at the total, what am I going to say?
Picture.
Yeah, the total picture of the era to which that thing was going on. There was no DNA. There was that. The preponderance of the law is you're in a married situation. Even right now, if you are married right now and your wife has a baby by somebody else, the law still assumes you're the father by law to this very day. So that's one thing. But yeah, the ignorance of it is this. Again, like you were alluding to, an $800,000 house. When I heard about that, I was like, what's the big deal? That's an average home in California, Southern California. God forsake if it's in San Francisco, that's even worse. So yeah, I agree. Isn't it funny how a lot of people, and again, this goes and proves my point about Black people needing reparations and money, because the majority of us live in poverty. So because we think that is normal, we think everybody else should be at that level too. And let me tell you guys something. 30% of Black people are not at the poverty level, okay? So again, I would agree. So let's get to these comments.
Well said, brother. Well said. And, just kind of piggyback off of what you said about his mom and his dad, how many of y'all raise your hand if you would tell your mama's business? Hey, you know what? My mama was getting it around and had me, and and then maybe his dad on the birth certificate was helping to protect his mom's honor. Like, hey, I don't like what you did, but all right. So you don't know, right? But I know if that was my mom's situation, I wouldn't be so ready to say, well, my mom she was
having a hot girl summer,
Anyway, let's get to it, y'all. Hey, Gregory, how are you doing? And Jeremy, what's going on with you? You say about to leave work? I know you're happy about that. And Antoine says, hello, Queen Demetra and Brother Donovan in room. Yes, indeed. And let's see here. I know I got a lot of comments. Bro, how you doing? It says, hi, everyone. Black first. Yes, indeed. Pam, how are you doing? And let's see. Jonelle, what's going on with you? I'm glad to see that you're out of Facebook jail. Yes. Pioneer says, even if he took money and did nothing for it, I think you meant to say, as long as he didn't steal it or hurt people to get it, and people gave it to him, he has a right to it, as far as I'm concerned, right? So yeah, and then there's this thing that the people are saying that he stole some money, which has never been proven. It's just been allegations. People have never said, here is the receipt of the money stolen. But on the other hand, he's proven by way of forensic accounting that he has not done that. But I'm like you. Some people gonna believe what they're gonna believe. That you're not gonna change people's minds, right? They just are dead set on that.
Yeah, Demetra, it's really funny how we're worried about a guy like Shaun King who's out here doing the work, but we never worry about where the pastor's getting his money. We never question why and I'm not trying to be dogging pastor, but I'm just saying.
I swear for God, you read my mind. You read my mind, but I was going to go the other way with it. I was like, we don't never press the oppressor as hard as we do our own people. Never.
We never question the pastor's Bentley. We never question his big old house. His wife's in the Ferrari. His kids have the Teslas. We never question that, and yet we can't get our lights on or get any help from the benevolent fund.
Jamarcus, how you doing? And Anna says, never live with disobedient in-laws. And that's good to know too, for real. Jeffrey, how you doing? And Pam, you say mostly every house in Southern California is going for $400,000 and upwards. Yeah, and shoot, that's the average.
Yeah, and $400,000. That's a house built in 1940s, right after World War II. That's what in California. That's what those have. We call them crackerjack houses. There's only like 2 bedrooms, a little square yard, and everybody's yard looks the same and stuff.
And a lot of those houses, because I looked recently, are in horrible condition. Like they selling that for that.
Did you see that shack in Costa Mesa like a couple years ago that was going for $250,000, and it was literally a shack broken down. It's all about location.
Costa Mesa. Mm-hmm. Yep. Frank, how you doing? And he says activists and preachers are not supposed to be broke. You're right, and I agree with you as far as the pastors too. I don't think they should be broke, but when you're not helping the flock, then that's where the issue is, right? But I agree with that. I don't think they should be broke. I don't think they should be literally riding around on a donkey. Honeydew, how you doing? And Jonelle, you say the main people you fight for against their enemies is always the main people who fight against you the most for their enemies due to their own ignorance, and especially the mentally dead, well-made, slave-minded. We literally shoot at any good Samaritan who advocate for us. We find an excuse not to rise up from our pig pen to elevate. Exactly. We are like, what do you call those people? Cannibals. We eat our own.
No, that would be called Morlocks.
Oh, and Morlocks do that.
Yeah, from Time Machine, yeah.
Yeah, we eat our own, and it's like, this man wasn't he helping people? And now we out here trying to, put them out to slaughter? I don't get it. And Jerome, you're saying Shaun King is a scam. Okay, well, how so? I'm asking because maybe you know something I don't. So why are you saying that?
Demetra, get your glasses on, please. Let's do this right.
I don't even know where they are. I think they're about my nightstand.
You're doing well so far, so go ahead.
Pioneer says, Queen, do you know how cute you are with those earrings dangling and say nothing in that high-pitched voice? Okay. Well, thank you. I don't know what to say. And I used to say poverty mindset. Yeah, a lot of us, and I say us, I'm speaking in general, operate from a poverty mindset. Well, if I ain't got it, shoot, you shouldn't have it either. How dare you get it and I ain't got it? And Entree, how are you? You said, I agree, he should be compensated. Right. I mean, how many of us gonna go out there and work for free and then go home and be like, damn, how I'm gonna pay these bills? I mean, so why are we expecting them to do that? You know?
Yeah, you know, it's like these politicians who ask you to go out there and knock on doors and all the heat and shit, and then all they want to give you is a tuna fish sandwich at the end of the day. No, you're not going to do that. You want to be paid for the time that you're going to spend out there. So why should these people get paid? But you know, if that politician makes it, you would think that, okay, I'm out here doing this work. Okay, he's going to come back and bring money to the jobs to the neighborhood and increase the neighborhood. No, he doesn't do nothing, and we sit there and go, what happened?
Right. And Big Cannon, how you doing? Let's see here. Jafai says, that's the way I feel about the white woman who headed the NAACP. I actually liked her, even though thinking that you are black while white is a mental illness. So you're talking about Rachel Dolezal. Donovan and I, it might have been on an episode of Don't Believe the Hype years ago, actually talked about Rachel Dolezal. Yeah, it is problematic that she, you know, to some degree, I guess, depending on how you look at it, is identifying, she's transracial. I guess that's what the term they're calling. She identifies as a black woman, but I like to quote Farrakhan on this. He said, he's talking to black women. He said, y'all mad that Rachel Dolezal is trying to be black when all she did is went in the back alley and picked up the stuff y'all throw away? You don't want your hair, your eyes, and you know, all of that. So she just went.
Skin color.
Skin color, yeah. She went and picked up what you threw away, and you mad? Not talking about you, Jafai, I'm just saying in general. You know what? So I get it, but I will say too, for Rachel Dolezal, she was actually doing the work. She wasn't just sitting there resting on the, you know, premise that she's a black woman per se. She was actually doing the work. And so, yeah, people, I mean, I get it. You know, you should have just said that you were white, right? I mean, NAACP was started by white people.
Yeah, and you know, that's the only problem I had with her. NAACP is controlled by white people. It's controlled by the Democratic Party as well. So just be who you are and still do the work. I mean, at the end of the day, she still did the work. And you got to look at it this way. Because she's a white woman, how much access does she have compared to anybody else on the ground level? Right,
and now she's a joke. You know, people, you know, joking about her. It's like, well, damn, she was really helping black people. I think it's in Washington, somewhere up in Seattle or something.
Yes,
like that.
No, Spokane.
Okay, yeah. So she was helping people, but you know, I get it. You know, you shouldn't be running around talking about you something you're not. Even though, on the flip side of that, we, you know, as black women, we do it all the time, don't we?
Oh yeah. No, we're mixed. Oh, I'm Belizean. I'm this. You know, you look at, especially when you look at these younger girls. If you go to their dating profiles or whatever, you go to their Facebook thing. Nobody, and I'm not saying everybody. Okay, so let's not generalize. But if you look at a lot of these young girls, they are so ashamed of just saying I'm black. When people look at me, I say I'm black. Don't tell me I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, I'm mixed with all this other stuff. What we all are. Who gives a damn? At the end of the day, I'm black. Period.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let me get to these comments because I see there's a lot of them. And Honeydew, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. You guys can become a member if you want. Just check it out. I greatly appreciate those who are already members and those who want to be. And so let's see here. And Pammy say, yes, you is understood. Okay, I just hope so, because I wasn't speaking about anybody in general. And you also say, I agree, Demetra, is all about the principles. Yes, indeed. And Frankie say, Jafia, NAACP is a Jewish entity. Yeah, it's ran by white people, originated by white people. And Jafia said, damn, D, I want you to advocate for me. All right. I just like to ask questions. I don't like to tell people how to think. I just like to ask questions to make people think, right? And Jonelle says, broke is not the norm for any child of God. Even Jesus was paid before his birth. And the wise men brought him gold, etc. Plus, it takes money to feed the masses. Broke is not God's way. Exactly. God says that he wants you to live in abundance, right? Not lack. But somehow we got that twisted. Like we should, you know, operate out of, you know, complete nothingness and think that's okay. It's not okay. And Antoine says, if you fight for Black empowerment struggle, don't expect them to support you. Do it for the ancestors. Make your money and keep it moving. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. And you know what I said too? I said, if I was Shaun King, I would just say, you know what, I'm going to pivot left and just go do something else, because it's proven time. And I hate to say this about us because I don't want to come off as negative, right? But it's been proven time and time again that we are not good to people who try to help us. And it's specifically our own people, all the way back to Marcus Garvey. We're just not good to them. So
But we love Jim Clyburn and Nancy Pelosi. We love Joe Biden. The people that don't do shit for us, we love them and we will defend them.
Yep. Delete your mom off Facebook for him, you know. Frank says, who was it? And I don't know what that means. And then Moni, how you doing? Says, happy, wonderful birthday to me. I'm so glad you to see you, gorgeous people. I could not go a Thursday and never a Sunday without you to meet you and my sexy, handsome man, Donovan. Okay, Donovan, I think you're going to be married off or, you know, at least taken by the end of the year. So there's hope after all. And Kara, how you doing? He says, I don't think he's helping. I don't think he is helping is my issue with Shaun. I wouldn't mind it so much if he was actually instilling change. If you can tell me some legislation he is currently working on, I'm all ears. Well, since he is not really a senator or in a capacity to work on legislation, that wouldn't be his job. But I know he's been very instrumental in helping those who are running for public office, like your senators and your judges and your district attorneys. I know he's been helpful in mobilizing their campaigns and getting them elected, opposed to people, because like for one is Philadelphia, and the names, I know the one he was advocating, his name was Larry, I forget who it was, and the other guy was a horrible person where he, as it's been documented that he has lied on black men, locked up a whole bunch of black men throughout his career and just planted drugs and all kind of stuff. And so he helped Larry, it starts with Kaye, I can't remember, but he helped him mobilize and organize his campaign, and he ended up winning that seat. So that's how he is instrumental in affecting legislation, but it's not really his job because he doesn't have the ability to actually go in there and, you know, pass bills, if that makes any sense. Right.
But as an influencer, though, he does bring, interest to certain topics that's applicable to black people, just like the Ahmaud Arbery thing. That was very applicable. Remember, the Ahmaud Arbery thing happened 2 months before anybody knew about it nationally. And his platform was one of the ones that had highlighted that. So as an influencer, that's something that he's doing that's positive to the community.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I read his book, and there's a lot of things I didn't know that he did. Like there was an earthquake. Oh, gosh. Haiti, I think it was, where they bought like thousands, tens of thousands of, tents and supplies and just a whole bunch of stuff when those people were homeless. He did that. But a lot of people just don't know about those things. And so I just think that, when we say people haven't done anything, I think we really should, look and see to make sure we're right before we accuse people of doing nothing. That's all I'm saying. And Jafia says, ignorance is a lack of knowledge. So yes, black people can be rather ignorant, unfortunately. Partner says, I'm not broke, however, I'm lower middle class. I'm not sure how much positive thinking, quote unquote, alone will change that. A good job will with benefits. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I just wanted to because Pioneer is one of our longtime listeners, and he has some good stuff like this. There's no such thing as classes in the United States anymore. Okay, either you got it or you don't. We are in a nation now of have and have-nots. Most of us are have-nots, and that's just the bottom line. They destroyed anything known as the middle class. They make these things to make you feel better about your situation. Have you noticed that even if, let's say, in the old days you were upper middle class, and then you're the lower and you're in poverty, what's the difference today? Nothing. No difference.
I'm one of those people, I like to take exception to the have-nots. Even if I ain't got it, I would never profess to anybody that I'm a have-not, because what you say, you also become. James Allen talked about as a man thinketh. Obviously, that comes with the principles of the Bible. But, there's, as they say, is power, life and death in the power of the tongue, So you have to think more positively. Now, I know there's a little bit more to positive thinking. You got to actually do stuff, right? Because I talked about the other day how my mom asked me when I would read all the self-help books, when are you going to actually start doing some of that stuff? So you got to actually apply. The knowledge has to be applied. But don't ever admit or profess that I ain't got it, I'm broke, because then you start walking in that.
Yeah, exactly. But, economically in this country, it's either, there's a definite fine line now. They have made a fine line.
Well, who is they? Because when you say that they, and that they is interchangeable for limitations.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Well, right. I can tell you who the they are. It's the 5% that own 90% of the country.
So when you say, and I get what you're saying, but it's like, well, the 5% said that I'm a lower class and I'm, you know, only relegated to this here. Do I believe what they say, or do I?
No.
Right.
One thing we know is nobody can regulate you to anything. But, however, remember at one time, if you were a millionaire, that was a big thing when we were growing up. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. Now it's about being a billionaire. See what I'm saying? They keep making the thing. So we're on the same page, but you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. And let's see here. Frank says, we don't even support each other, sadly. And Shemesh, how you doing? He says 466 years to place you in niggerdom. Yes, indeed. It's a hard state to come out of, unfortunately. And Moni says, so many people hate on you, Demetra, for the smallest things that some things it's about genetics that it should never even matter one way or the other, from the complexion you are to the physique. Yeah, well, you know what, though? It's not what they say, it's what I say. It's not what they call me, is what I answer to, you know? And if you don't know who you are, people will define you. So it's really get good at knowing who you are. I'm not saying when people say things about you, it don't hurt. But when you really know who you are, you just shrug your shoulders and say, oh, well, you don't make sure I eat, you ain't going to make sure I starve. Just like that, right?
Exactly. And that's a very true statement. If you guys don't believe that, that's very true. Because, Demetra, did I not define a person who ran for office out here and ran him out of town?
Yep. And let's see here. And Anais says, right, well said, Donovan. And Mimi, how you doing? He says, we have to stop thinking that we belong being broke or poor. Absolutely. It's a state of mind. And Monty said, the devil will make you grow to be angered and bitter. And when you start loving God and you know the principle of God, God does not put you in no environment of anger, hostility, and hate. That's the devil. Okay. And Frank says, Rachel was helping Black people. Oh, yes, she was. And now Donovan did the research. And she was actually helping Black people. And Tanil, how you doing? He says, what is actually, oops, I hate when that happens. The comments skip up. Let's see. Let me just get right to them so I can, oh, I'm not that far behind. Where'd it go? Oh, man. Where did it go?
You're at Tanil Haskins.
I know, but it jumped up, so I'm trying to find
what is he actually doing for the Black community? Ask Samir Rice.
Okay, wait. Ah, shoot. Oh, okay. So I wasn't actually that far down. I want to get it. Forgive me, y'all. It's just like completely lost. Okay, here it goes. Here we go. Because if I don't find my place, then I'm lost. So you say, what is actually doing for the Black community? Ask Samira Rice. Y'all don't want me to go into that because y'all going to be mad. Y'all going to be mad if I talk about Samira Rice. And we actually had the pleasure of interviewing Mrs. Rice on the war zone. You know, you guys know Mrs. Rice is the mother of Tamir Rice, who was murdered by the police officers there in Ohio. And she did not get justice for the murder of her son. They didn't see fit to try the officer. And so she's kind of had a little back and forth with a few people in the media, one being Tamika Mowry and then Shaun King. And my statement is on this: I've never lost anybody. My child, I've lost a mom, so you know it's the closest thing I've lost. But I have never lost a child, so I could never ever begin to operate out of how she feels, and nor would I ever try to tell her how she feels. I'd imagine, you know, it's a very painful thing. But I think what happens is when you start attacking people and going after people, then your cause gets lost in the sauce, if that makes any sense. And then people start saying, oh man, she's mad at somebody else now. She always mad. And so while I said I would never try to tell her how to feel, you got to be careful that you don't look like you're the aggressor now. So does she have an issue with Shaun King? Yes, she has an issue with Shaun King. But she hasn't produced any receipts that said that he actually stole anything from her. And I'm not saying he didn't, but right now is really just hearsay. And so, you know, they were mad at Tamika Mowry because she was in a Cadillac commercial. So I don't know. Y'all tell me. And Mimi, you say he looks like my dad, and my dad is also Black. Yeah, I mean, Black people, and that's the other thing too. We think Black people are all supposed to be brown or dark brown. I mean, Black people come in all shades. And truth be told, if you're ADOS, you are not 100% African. You got some of Massa's blood up in you. So don't be running around talking about I'm straight man bingo, because you're not. Otherwise, just forfeit your reparations check. And then Frank says, what has them bulls from, oh, wow, BLM doing? Who were they helping? Well, you know what they were doing. They were sent by the oppressor and they weren't helping anybody but themselves, right? Now, of course, Shaun King originally was with Black Lives Matter. They fell out in the beginning. And they've actually tried to turn on Shaun King as well. So it's a mess. And Mesh, you said, the mind we think we have is not our own. It's a backwards pond mentality. Interesting. And Honeydew says, Bishop Eddie Long, I'll say it, Creflo, etc. Y'all know. Yeah, they defended them to the death. And what did Creflo get? A new plane. They got him a new plane anyway. Well, I mean, a couple people who didn't go to the church was like, oh, that's messed up. But nobody really do or say nothing about it. He's riding around a new plane probably as we speak. And Kara says the issue is the medium home that in that location was the $250,000 range, and he bought one for that price when he didn't have to. Well, again, that's the limitations that we are setting on him. Going to buy you a $250,000 house because that's what the average is. I want to let y'all know I'm not average. Are y'all average? Are y'all average? Do y'all operate from an average mindset? And let's be honest, a $250,000 house, you know, and he's had they said it's 8 people or so, 9 people in the house. So I don't know what 9 people in a $250,000 house would look like, but I would imagine it's probably pretty crowded. But again, I don't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem if the house was $8 million. I mean, I think people should get what is best for them. I'm not paying a mortgage on an $800,000 house. They are. Yeah,
you know, and remember how we said most Black people live in the South, and we know that let's reverse that to people in California to get a house the way that people in the South get it for little or nothing. We're in shock. You get all this for $250,000. So you know it's all regional and and where you're at. People in New York and the major cities. A $2,500 rent for a 1-bedroom in the city, and you're not even in a good neighborhood. That's average.
And that's LA too.
Right.
Yep. And Molly says, when you start bringing their history and how they did when Black Wall Street, what they did in Florida, what they did in Michigan and destroying wealth, Black men and women's businesses you call racist. Yes, indeed. And TJ, how you doing? He says, what about that $90 million that the fake BLM leader stole allegedly? Allegedly. Yeah, well, they raised that money, but there was no accounting as to what happened to the money, right?
Right.
That's what the issue is.
See, and again, here we go with our ignorance, and I'm saying myself included, us as a group. You can't steal something if it's legal to take it. How she filed the paperwork and how Black Lives Matter filed everything was totally legit. So whatever money she took or she paid herself, quote, is legal. She has no investigation or anything, going against her, but yet we keep saying she stole the money. You can't steal something that wasn't stolen.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna take that down. All right, so let's really get to it here. And Janelle says, Donovan, we are well programmed in ignorance. We will stone any person doing good for us out of our ignorance as programmed. Most of us enjoy the hanging of our own and used to watching our demise and applauding it. We are truly blind to dominant and recessive DNA. Our miseducation and ignorance is our oppressive prison. Yes, indeed. We line up for that. Yeah. And then these other newspapers, they're complicit too. The Griot and News One, these Black magazines, they're complicit in making it, making fun of them and stuff. And Javai says, I don't think any working person should be broke. No, at all. You shouldn't be broke. And Moni says, just an announcement, Demetra and Donovan on African and Diaspora News Channel just announced that California finna make it where you go to any store, airport, school, medical office, you must have your jab. Yeah, that's gonna be everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And of course, it's going to be challenged in court. And how they're going to enforce that, I don't know, but we'll see.
Right. And Shemesh, you say LBC will sell you a shack for $1 million. That's Long Beach, by the way, y'all. From the West Side, says a closet for a bedroom with no rent control. Yeah, California, most of it don't have rent control. So he right.
I was watching last year on YouTube, the People's Court. This girl was renting a room here in California. This was last year, a show from last year. A room, $800 a month. That's a room.
Wait, hold on. I got you one better. My daughter was going to school at San Francisco State. She rented a room for $1,100 a month. A room. Not the whole place, a room.
Right now, people in the South are like, wow!
And that was cheap. That was cheap. But she had to go to school, right? And it was even cheaper than staying in the dorms, which I think was $1,500 a month. And let's see here. And Frank says, but a lot of pastors steal from Black people. Yeah, they do. And we don't have nothing to say about it. Pioneer says, I don't know much about Shaun, but I will say most of these so-called activists, quote unquote, in general, are making money, complaining about problems instead of solving them. It's become fashionable. Yeah, but at least he was solving the problems, right? But Al Sharpton been riding, resting on his permanent, his juices and berries for a long time. And, he's still doing it.
And since we're talking about Al Sharpton, you brought up Al Sharpton. Wasn't he investigated for tax evasion? And he had to pay a fine. He didn't go to jail because, he's a paid agent. He's a paid agent. He didn't go to jail, but he was stealing money. When you don't pay your taxes, you're stealing money. That's basically you're stealing. That's why they charge you for it. He didn't go to jail.
Yeah, and when he says that he's a paid agent, he was known to be working with the FBI. It's a fact. So, and Moni says, good early evening, Pioneer. Much Detroit love to you. And Mimi says, we need to stay out of folks' pockets and attend to our own business. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And Aaron, how you doing? And I do get your inbox. I just got to go through them. And you say, and what about the PPP loan that Ben Crump got a month after George Floyd case? So he got a PPP loan? All that Skrilla he making?
Yeah. All these people that already have money, a lot of them went and got that PPP loan. I mean, corporations went and got it. All kinds of folks got it because they didn't write the bill with a lot of restrictions. And that's what they do. And this is what I keep trying to tell you. This infrastructure bill, that benefits white people. How many Black construction companies are out there? I'm sure there are some, but I'm talking about as a whole.
Oh, wait a minute. Commercial break. Twice today, I saw a Black construction crew. And I was like, hey, how y'all doing? Hey. My daughter's like, calm down. I said, I'm just saying hi. How y'all doing?
Yeah, Demetra had to go through the cat call. She wanted to go back and forth, walk back.
I was like, but behave yourself. Behave. But they're right around the corner from my house. They might be there tomorrow. I might go just take a walk. Take them some water or something. How y'all doing? I'm just saying.
But all of our federal dollars, our taxes are going to be going to these white construction companies and Hispanic construction companies with a few Asian construction companies to rebuild America, whatever they're going to do. And all that money is going into their pockets, not into the Black community. They're not going to build, New Orleans and Houston and all these other places. That money is going right into the very people that already have it.
Yes, indeed. All right, watch this. We finna get to these comments. And Honeydew says, y'all see it. Okay, back to the combo. Okay. Yeah, we saw it. The membership. Thank you so much once again. And why am I leaking? Let's see here. And Mimi says, a rapper once said, paid in full.
Eric B. and Rakim.
Yes. And when he says, let's be clear, when you bring up anything that deals in a Caucasian society, you will be termed as racist, even when you present and speak of it is the truth, because we're dealing with a society of demons. Well, we know we can't be racist for a whole host of reasons. We'll get into that one day. And Thunder, what's going on with you? And Frank says, Black women always say they mix on a profile, shaking my head. Yeah, I don't understand what's up with that. Steve, how you doing? He says, hey, Queen and King, brother. Yes, indeed. And Pam said, there's a scripture in the Bible that says something like, if your enemy of the heathen helps you to do good, then let him do it. I can't remember the exact words. Yeah, I need to look that one up. But yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why we're mad at Shaun King, especially when he does help people. Different if he was like a Jim Jones. Y'all know about Jim Jones, that he took all them Negroes to Guyana. Didn't help nobody. He helped them to a cup of Kool-Aid. That's about it. And Mimi said, some folks are used to being on the bottom and comfortable with it. Yep. The old people used to say, the money is burning a hole in your pocket. You ain't going to be happy till the money is gone. And Jonelle says, we did the same to Garvey, the same to Noble Drew Ali, Malcolm, Fred Hampton, Huey P., the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Sabi, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, etc. Any Black leadership or advocate of Black people, we are their persecutors. and the drinkers of the enemy slander without question or facts. When they fight for our rise, the tool of the oppressor, and the tools are always found against every nation's leadership. Libya, for example, Gaddafi. We believed it, ate it up, because Obama and them said, he was over there, he was doing this and that, and he was a horrible person, and we ate it up.
Yeah, that was Hillary. I
mean, Hillary. We ate it up. Well, wasn't she in the Obama administration?
Yeah, but I'm saying she was the one that geared that up, the Clinton Foundation. Remember the people that went to rebuild Haiti?
Yeah. So that was now you got me confused. That was under Obama.
Yeah, it was under Obama, but it was the Hillary Clinton State Department. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so a lot of us just figured that was cool to do. What if you really would have listened to what Gaddafi was saying? He was like, hey, black people all over the world, let's get rid of this dollar. Let's start using this gold. Let's divest from this, white system. And they destabilized this government, and now there's full-fledged slavery over there.
And it's a failed state. Haiti, failed state. I mean, everywhere that we've implanted, it's been a failed state. And wait. Don't forget, these are under democratic leadership that went to these countries. That
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Oop. Don't you talk bad about the Democrats. The pioneer, he said, I personally find women of all shades attractive, including jet black from Africa. When I was a very young man, I preferred light skin over dark only because I was told that was what I should want. And pioneer, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Because I find that especially a lot of men from the South I hear stories like that of their moms or somebody, grandma telling them, don't get what black woman, or even, telling their daughters, don't get what dark man. And
she better match this brown paper bag.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, because I remember my mom telling stories like that. My mom's not here anymore, but she would have been in her 70s. And I would hear her tell stories that people would say that, or she too black and all of that. So how if you don't mind me asking?
I love them dark. I love dark women. That skin is flawless. I love dark women. My grandmother was dark. She was a dark twin, but beautiful, beautiful skin.
Yes. Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? And Eric, thank you so much. I appreciate the membership. Thank you. And let's see here. And Jonelle says, be fruitful and multiply does not equal broke, but it does mean wealth, great substance, plenty of fish. And I don't mean the dating app. Get you some money in abundance. I mean, yeah. For you guys that don't know why I'm laughing, plenty of fish is, where you go really put your fishing rod in there, and you really also a piece of booty or something. Don't be on there. Okay, that ain't for you. Honeydew says, I think white people doing the right thing is what they are supposed to do. Are they undoing or redoing to satisfy both sides? If the NAACP was started by whites and blacks and supported by the Democratic Party, I think your comment cut off. Yeah, it was started, help started by whites. They were, instrumental in funneling a lot of money to it, just like Black Lives Matter and all of that. And they said they were for the cause of black people, but the NAACP did some shady stuff to black people. A lot of things you don't know about.
They're still doing.
But what I'm saying, some of them signed on with the eugenics program of sterilizing black women and, seeing black people who weren't a credit to the race, if you will, as needing to be done away with and stuff like that. So it's really all about knowing, right? And I says, Cuomo didn't do it. I'm just saying, yeah, they got rid of your boy. I didn't think he would resign, but I just think he didn't have any more allies. And so it's like, what do I do, right? But, my daughter was showing me stuff or telling me about how some of the women were, seen in bars with them or parties, and they're kiki and ha-ha and taking selfies. And then all of a sudden, he looked at me.
What's that new thing they got? You're next, or up next, or whatever it is. But here's the funny thing. You have a president right now that did the same thing. You had a former president that outright said, grab him by the pussy. The Republicans outright Jim Jordan abusing kids, and they don't resign. But the Democrats, eat their own. I mean, it's
Matt Gates. What happened to Matt Gates?
Yeah, he still has all his positions. Nothing's going. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Y'all, if y'all are Democrats, y'all need to get into recovery like me. Seriously, start getting into recovery.
Show them the way, brother. And Honeydew says, how can we expect black first? Well, do that. Elaborate on that, if you will, because I'm sure it was something we said, and we've been talking our heads off. And Pioneer says we need activists to bring attention to problems we had, the Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons, but at the same point, we do. When do you put the microphone or bullhorn down and do some actual work?
Well, think about this. Did not Jesse run for president? Didn't he run for president? And I believe Al Sharpton ran for president too.
He tried.
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. When some of these people, like you said, Pioneer, they switch and try to put the work in, we don't support them. We don't support them. So whose fault is that?
Right. And Thunder, you say, we don't need a leader. We need an ideology. The ideology will outlive the leader every time. Proof, look at most religions. The founders have long passed, but the ideology is still here. That's a good point, actually.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. Look at I marched with Martin Luther King. Y'all just got to wait and be peaceful. We going to keep protesting. They don't give a damn about you protesting because it doesn't do anything. But we don't keep protesting. We going to keep doing stuff like we did in the 60s, and we going to make it all right and better. I marched with King. Oh, it was a lot peaceful back then. What's wrong with you kids nowadays? Isn't that the ideology? Isn't that the ideology that we are still doing today? And we are suffering for it.
I'll tell y'all, Donovan missed his call, and I am not lying. And she says, first, the Texas male mentality is the opposite of most West, i.e. South California male mentality. West Coast work a woman for everything she got. Damn. They take pride in that. Not all, but most. The South and the East take shame in that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. West Coast dudes, they like to be taken care of. That they do. Not all, some. I'll say some. And Frank says, Pioneer, we like black women more than they like us. Trust. Nah, brother. Nah. I ain't gonna let you get away with that, okay?
Wait, and you're hearing that from a woman who's engaged to a DeBarge.
He's still a brother, okay? Jonelle says, we need to settle on the good and reject the negative, but we are programmed to look for the negative crap first. Just the gossip. Willie Lynch programming is in practice, even while we read all of his tactics. Damn. I agree. Damn. Frank says, black women where I am don't even speak. Well, where are you? Where they ain't speaking?
Well, they ain't speaking over here either, brother. Matter of fact, it'd be 6 a.m. They walking around with their fist ball. They already mad they wake up.
Shut up. And Mimi, you say some actually believe we're supposed to be living by the edge of your pants, him. And I strongly think we are afraid of being successful. Yeah, we are. We just, because we've been taught our whole lives, as black people, we should be struggling. Everything should just be hard. If it ain't hard, it ain't worth it. It's just like we were taught that, the light bill, we supposed to always be getting extensions and how we gonna pay the rent. That's what we think is normal.
Are you 18 now? Get out the house. You need to get out the house and struggle. You need to go out there and get on your own.
Yep. Sad situation. I'm gonna get to these comments and remind me to talk about that because we were supposed to talk about that before. And yes, again, hello, Eric. Says, I'm a member, fam. Yes, indeed. And Jalen, how you doing? He says, some activists decided to live a modest and frugal lifestyle, but if they choose not to, that's none of our business. Stop pocket watching. Absolutely. It's like you feel like they have something you don't. Well, go out there and get it. So yeah, absolutely. Stop pocket watching. And Pioneer says, preach, Donovan. This society is increasingly becoming a third world nation where you have the rich and elite and the desperate and working poor, not a sit around and collective welfare poor, but poor with 3 jobs. Yeah, especially in California.
Yeah, think about it. In the 90s, there was no such thing as a term called working poor. There was no such thing. And then all of a sudden you hear these terms, and you're like, wait a minute, working poor. If you're working 40 hours a week, you definitely should not be poor. But yet it got into the lexicon, and now we think it's normal. We think that's normal. Yeah, I'm working and I'm poor. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And Pam says, if 85% is too dumb to overtake the 15, then something is really wrong with that picture. That's not going to work for too much longer. Something has to give. I agree with you. And
the Communist Manifesto. Demetra, could you please tell us the opening chapter of that?
Well, the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, you know, they basically talk about the class, and in regards to the classes, the proletariat, the working class, and the bourgeoisie, right?
Right, and the working class will eventually rise and murder.
Right. Right, the 1%, the machine. You know, the machine is the working. I mean, is the 1%. They're the ones that owns the means of production. And they said eventually that the poor will be so poor and just so up against it to where they are going to rise up. And so you're starting to see a little bit of that now. That was years ago. What, over 100 years ago, I'm imagining at this point.
And if you don't believe it's true, what do you think the French Revolution, why did that start?
Yeah.
Because the people were so damn poor that they said, to hell with this. And they rose up and started murdering the elite.
Let them eat cake, you know, and now they don't even want you to eat cake. Got butter biscuits though. And let's see here. And she mesh, you say, go ahead, skip by my input. It's been 3 shows already. I get it. I still support my question. I'm seeing your comments. I'm not skipping your comments. I read every now. Okay, I will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, you're probably going to say the same thing I was.
Yeah.
What kind of words? Go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes depends on what you're saying. Sometimes I don't know if the algorithms or whatever it is make it rhythm, but it's not me. I'm reading every one of your comments, but if I did, for whatever reason, skip a comment, it is my apologies. And if you felt like I skipped something, try to put it back in there so I can read it.
Yeah, because I've been monitoring them, and you read every comment.
Yeah, Donovan will tell me you skipped such and such. So my apologies if something didn't get read. If you guys are in the watch parties or whatever they're doing now on Facebook and you want us to see a comment, click on the link and we would love to do it. And oh, by the way, I put Donovan's information in the description box so you guys can go follow him on Facebook and YouTube. So you're welcome. And the Pioneer says the difference between Demetra and Donovan's philosophy on wealth status exemplifies the difference between those who favor positive thinking versus those who favor a more pragmatic approach. Well, I think you can be both, but it starts in your mind first. I'm not going to wake up every day and talk about, well, shit, I hate when I talk to people. They talk about, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all. I can't win for losing. Oh, I don't even know why I bother. I'm like, get the hell off my phone. Because I don't want that going into me. I don't want to listen to that. I'm not on that page. I think positively every day I wake up, I say an affirmation if it's just one of them. I got a bunch. Oh, shit. I mean, shoot. I ripped it, but it's been on my computer for so long. Read it to y'all really quick. Y'all see this? Y'all see how old this doggone card is? I got a whole bunch of them.
Demetra doesn't even use calculator. She uses the abacus.
Shut up. This says, don't play it safe. It says, ask for the money. You know who told me that? My mama. My mama told me never be afraid to ask for the money. So I don't operate out of lack. But here it says, I'm a magnet for prosperity, happiness, and abundance. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. Prosperity overflows in my life. I have everything in abundance. Wealth consistently flows into my life. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. I am a magnet for money. Prosperity is frequently drawn to me. Every day I live my dreams. I am always in alignment with my life's purpose. I have more money than I know what to do with. And lastly, my life's purpose brings me prosperity and happiness. Now, I can't operate like you want these things to happen if I'm saying, oh, shit, it's going to be hard. It's already a bad day.
Let me go smoke some weed. Let me go smoke some weed. It'll make it better. 15 minutes of getting high, and my problems will go away for 15 minutes. But when I get back, I just now wasted 15 minutes of reality.
Yeah, so I agree with both, but I think it starts in your mind first. You can't be pragmatic if you don't believe you can be, right? All right, so let me for real get back to these comments for real. Jafia says that depends on where the house is. In South Carolina, $250,000 house is a nice house. Yeah, here in Texas, that's right now, that's still a nice house. So you're absolutely right. And the Pioneer says, y'all don't sleep on Donovan. Laugh out loud. He's cracking jokes and playing with those cats like he's not paying attention, but he's keeping up with everything Demetra is doing and her back up when she needs it. Yes, indeed. So never sleep. And Shemesh, you say $250,000 in the South for maybe 5-bedroom rooms. That's $250,000 in New York City, or California is a closet. I was about to say where that at so I can go. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, that not even a closet. It's horrible. But you're right. In the South, they
might issue you a tent. A matter of fact, 60,000 people in LA County got their own homes.
And the Pioneers. Oh no. And let's see. And Frank says, yeah, you should click on that X. Click what X? What X am I looking at? And Janelle says, let me ask you, when should you get something nice for yourself? When you're dead or when you're living? If you wait on other people to want it for you, you will never have it. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, if you wait on the people to want you to have it, you will never have it. Most people don't want nothing for themselves, more or less good. Absolutely. Like, what you gonna wait on somebody else to want something for you? Nah, I don't need that. Thank you. I'm gonna go.
No. Y'all niggas, listen. Y'all need to listen. When all the hell you catching right here on this earth, when you're dead and gone, you'll get the nice little heaven. You'll get the Mercedes. Isn't that what the pastor says? Prosperity preaching. You'll get a Mercedes in that mansion in heaven. If heaven is anything like this, why would you want to go?
Mm-hmm. What's that song? It reminds me of on Uptown Saturday Night, How I Got Over. I'm gonna walk on the streets of gold. Talk about heaven is like, nah, I want to do that now, okay?
And if you notice, these devils, they're having their heaven right now.
Right.
They're doing it right now.
Joe, now I know you heard the song by the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. It's just on top of my head. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. That was a song that he has years ago. My dad used to always listen to it. All right, and then and Jafia says, no. Oh, no, okay. So Frankie was replying to somebody, and Jafia says a room here in Harlem is $1,200 a month. A room. And let's see, and Antoine says, real talk, Cali is whack. Yeah, a lot of people are just leaving because it's just too much.
No, not a lot of people are leaving. Black people are leaving because we lack wealth to live here. The Mexicans, group economics. The Asians, group economics. The white folks, they already had it. So the majority of people leaving California are black people because we do not have the wealth. Big Mama, we sold the house for $250,000. Once you sell Big Mama's house that was paid for, you cannot come back here. That's why they're going down to the South.
Yep, and Jamarcus says that's my house. No, $1,100 a month, $1,100 in Houston. Yeah, so that was a room in San Francisco. That was 4 years ago. And Frank says, of course, people that don't have knowledge of self-treat other melanated people foul. Yes, indeed. And Jamarcus says Al Sharpton is the worst. And Jeremy says it's $750 a month for a room in Austin for my daughter in school. And I mean, in Austin, that's still a lot. So, I mean, we're not talking about a lot of house for even, $800,000, depending on where you live, right? And Jafia says tax evasion is your money, though. Okay. Are you talking about Al Sharpton? And then Eric, you say they took us from a sense of community to individualism, Tulsa, Rosewood, etc. Now it's everyone for themselves. Yes, indeed. And that's how we've been operating. You're absolutely right. And the Pioneer says this is why our people need to know the law. If people didn't break any laws to get their money, then they did not steal it. In fact, in some cases, it's actually illegal to even accuse them of that. Yes, indeed. And Jafia says, I side-eye Ben Crumb every time I see him. He's like an ambulance chaser. No, he ain't like, he is an ambulance chaser. Yes, indeed. And Mimi says, oh, yes, it's strictly for the white. I'm going to have to use that one. The white folks. To get the bag. And the Pioneer says, sis, what's funny? Also saw several black construction crews out working on parking lots and structures the past couple of days up here in Michigan. Looks like something's going on. I might have to ask him. I said I was going to go over there and have a conversation with him. But my daughter was like, you need to calm down. No, it's for real. I just want to have a conversation with him. Talk to him. How y'all doing? What's really going on? And Jafia says 96 degrees, humid, raining, thunder, and lightning here in New York. It's trying to do that here in Houston. And let's see here. Pam says, oh, hell no, not Jim Jones. He was no good. Yeah, but look how many Negroes followed him to the ends of Guyana and drank that Kool-Aid. And Jonelle says, it's not the government taxing your checks, your income without question. Various taxes coming out of your income to empower the rich without a real why. Straight robbery.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, why do you think? I mean, it doesn't make sense that your money gets taxed all the time. When you buy something, it's taxed. When you bring it home and you try to sell it, let's say you want to sell it, you got to put tax on that. You die, you got to pay tax on your wealth that you left behind. It's insane. How many times do you be taxed for the same, amount of wealth? It's crazy. But nobody questions it. See what I'm saying? Once people, the ignorance of us, we don't think about this. And this is why the rich people get away with what they get. How could you be the richest man in the world and not pay any taxes? How do you do that?
Yes, indeed. If you know the rules, you know how to break them too. Martin says, Donovan in California, if you don't have your vaccination, they are going to deny you to be in any business that deals in the inside. What's your take on that?
Well, basically what's going to happen is they're going to go back to the lockdown type mode. So the businesses are going to be open and they're just going to continue to give you the food and stuff. You're still going to order it. Nothing's going to change here. People, they're just damned to just do what they're going to do. It's not really going to affect, especially here in California, in these places where they have a lot of entertainment. Nothing's going to stop. They're still going to go to Vegas. They're still going to get their food. They might not be able to go in and walk in, but last year, the whole year long, people were still going to McDonald's and all that other stuff. So nothing changed.
Yes, indeed. And she says, Shaun King, culture vulture. How can you rebuild a culture with vultures picking it apart in real time? We don't need them to express our narrative and paint them as our heroes. Well, when you say somebody's a culture vulture, you're implying that they are not of the culture and they are taking from the culture. Well, Shaun King has asserted plenty of times that his father, his biological father, is Black. I think most of us can look at Shaun King and see that it does have some Black within his body. But I just feel like it'd be different. I said, again, let's say he is white, is he helping Black people? So if people are helping Black people, do we say, nah, you ain't white or you ain't Black, so stay away, you ain't helping? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think of Mackenzie Bezos. I know she's not going by that last name anyway, but I said it just so y'all know. That's Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Jeff Bezos being the richest man in the world, owner of Amazon. Look how much money she gave to Black people. She's not Black. Should we say, nah, we good? I'm talking about millions, probably into the billions now. She's giving. I don't know about, to all Black people, but she's giving a lot of that money to Black people, organization stuff. Should we just tell her no because she's not Black? She's helping Black people. But we big up, like Donovan said, I'm not saying this is you, Shemesh, but we big up Black people who ain't doing a damn thing for Black people. Pastors, these culture, or these ambulance chasers, if you will. They're not really helping Black people, but woo, child. And so anyway, Jafai says, Minister Farrakhan talked about how Obama was treating Gaddafi before they murdered him. Yep. Tried to pull our coattails to him. And what do? We believe the narrative they put out. Pam says Gaddafi was a good man. Even Minister Farrakhan saw the goodness in him. Yeah, they were friends. And Pioneer says, sis, I'm between 40 and 60. Oh, well, me too. Laugh out loud. That's about specifically as you'll get from me on this public forum. I get you. All right. So you're still fairly young. It's not like you came up in the baby boomer generation, and before that where they was talking that, she got to be lighted. She can't be darker than a paper bag, right? So that's kind of still permeating our culture for some reason. And Jeremy says, shout out to
I happen to know your daddy threw you out.
Stop it. No. Yes. And then he says, I know what you meant. Obama. I ain't gonna say it, but I know what you meant. Hey, sis, it's my sister on Amanda. How you doing? And Demetra, how you doing? Long time no see. And Jeremy says HBCUs, I think it meant HBCUs were started by white people as well. Yes, Spelman, I think, and Morehouse is named after white people, if I'm not mistaken. And Amanda says Shaun King should make as much money as they give him. Ain't nobody else as effective as him and as fast on social media. That I totally agree with. Nobody is bringing awareness. And you notice that he hasn't done that in a while. So is he done? Is Shaun King done? And could you blame him if he is? Like, damn. I would never live a normal life. Because you guys know that the LAPD, some of the LAPD were found plotting to kill him. This was like a year or so ago. They had documentation that they were plotting to kill him. The police officers were plotting to kill him, and yet he's putting his life on the line to help Black people, his people, and yet all we do is talk bad about him. If I was him, I'd chunk your ass to deuces and be out of here.
You know what's sad? You just brought up a point about the LAPD, and in the LA Sheriff's County has a gang culture problem where they're killing people outright.
Mm-hmm.
We act like that's normal. Where's the outrage? Where's the investigation to get these people out? No, we do absolutely nothing.
Nope, at all. Jafia said they got rid of Cuomo so he wouldn't qualify to run a 2024 presidential race. After 10 years, they found a way to get rid of him. You know what? I believe you hit that right on the head. Because last year he was everybody's hero. He saved New York. And now all of a sudden he's this pervert. So you're right.
Boo-boo on the shoe.
Right. And you also say, yes, Jesse ran and he actually won in District of Columbia. Yeah. 1984 it was. It was a good year. And Pam says, remember, Jesse Jackson helped get those hostages free overseas. Yes, he did. And Moni says, Demetra, I've always liked light to medium brown-skinned men. Never felt I needed to explain myself in the 80s. As a kid, I was considered color-struck. But oh, well, it's my choice, and I don't owe anybody an apology. Nah, I mean, if that's your preference, I just think as long as we're not operating out of, well, anything other than that is not good enough or they're bad, right? Because everybody has a preference, I guess. But if you're doing it and saying that everybody else is horrible people, then yeah, that might be a problem. Now, Eric says, Donovan, you have an acting career, bro. Yeah, go on and give us your acting spiel.
Acting spiel? Okay.
He's a thespian.
Yes, I'm a thespian. Check this out. I went to this one audition in LA. How many of you guys have seen the movie Mahogany? Okay, I'm gonna do a part of Mahogany for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. It's the part where he's like talking to her. Let me tell you something and don't forget. Okay, so get ready.
Wait, let me get my popcorn.
I'm a success, and you can't stand it, Brian. There it is. You guys were expecting me to do Billy D's part, didn't you?
We were. Jeremy says, we have a president that unsuspectingly grab women by the shoulders from behind and makes a mustache out of their hair. Talk about Joe Biden. And he says the barge was sexy though. He is extremely sexy. I mean, he's so sexy. Hold on a second. He's so sexy that when I see pictures, I randomly save them in my phone. So as y'all see here, it's a nice picture of him. He's just laughing and having a good time. Like,
wait a minute. That looks like Al.
You know what? You and my daughter said the same goddamn thing, and this is L. This is L.
L. Okay. For you guys that don't know, Al was the little brother.
This is yeah. So I have a whole bunch of pictures of L the barge. Now I'm like Donovan and his cat. Let me stop being silly. Y'all gonna think I'm on here drunk or something. All right, back to this business. Pioneer says, Brother Donovan, you make a good point about Jesse running for president. I consider Jesse and MLK legitimate activists, but we only need a few. We don't need 1,000 in every state with bullhorns. Abdallah, how you doing? He says, greetings from Gambia. How are you? Way over there. Hope everything is going great. Morning says, it's the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is anytime you start wanting to shut down their system of making money from restaurant, bars, etc., they vow to get rid of you by any means necessary. You might be on to something. And Pam says, there's going to come a time when Black people as a group will have to do for self, better learn some worthwhile skills for else we'll be doing ourselves a disservice. Yeah, and they've been telling us for years, do for self, right? And she says, okay, we good. I'm telling you, I would never do that to you. I don't skip people's comments unless it's something like way out there that might get me banned from YouTube and Facebook, but you're good. And Brotham says, YouTube do be taking down messages. Yeah, or he's on, he or she, I'm sorry, on Facebook. So, and they do that sometimes as well. It's not me. I assure you, it is not me. And Pioneer says, Brother Donovan, this is Demetra. My dad calls me Mitra, and my daughter's father calls me Mitra. Well, my dad calls me Meech, and my daughter's father calls me Mitra. So anyway, so the problem with expecting the poor in the society to rise up is so many of them are addicted to drugs that many are too satisfied with free marijuana and other drugs to rise up. Good point. And Anais says, affirmation, I treat money with respect and I handle it with confidence. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I need to write that down. Pam says, we must be positive and more optimistic, be a firm believer that we can do all things. If anyone else can do, then so can we. Yes, indeed. And Antoine says, damn straight, Queen. And Pioneer says, Queen, you're cruel. Laugh out loud. You mean if I, as a friend, call you up to complain about some problems, you tell me to get off the phone and hang up on me? That's rough. No, I'll listen to you once or twice.
I've been hung up a couple of times.
He lying. I'll listen to you once or twice, but don't call me with the same old, especially if I've helped you with a solution. We've talked it through and you back talking about this. I get it. Time is valuable though, and if you don't want the solution, then why are you calling me? You know what I'm saying? To me, you might as well be just yelling out into the middle of the street to nobody if you're not going to really do anything about it. And so some people have said, I don't have any compassion. I do. I have some compassion, but how does that help you if you keep calling me talking about, my man cheating on me? Well, did you throw hot grits on him? No, I didn't do it. Okay, try that and come back and tell me how that. I'm just playing.
Just don't do a Lorena Bobbitt. Whatever you do not do Lorena Bobbitt.
I mean, but that's at least doing something, right? I'm just
kidding. But you're hurting yourself at the end of the day.
I mean, he's giving it away anyway. I'm not benefiting from it, so why should she be happy? And Terry, how you doing? He said he's the perfect big brother. And Janelle says, all things we see come from the mind. We are more powerful than we know. You will attain your focus. What your hands work for, our praises due to Allah. Absolutely.
And that's the thing, Janelle. If we would just believe it, it's almost like we have no faith in ourselves or in what we believe. Here's the thing, and I used to, I don't want to take too much time, but when I was younger, I fed off what people told me I couldn't do, because you could not tell me I couldn't fly an airplane. You could not tell me I couldn't do those things. I just believed it. I believe my shit didn't stink. That's how people will call it arrogance. Why is it when a black man is confident, he's arrogant, and when a white man is arrogant, he's confident? I don't get that. But that's what I'm saying. You really got to believe it. I actually believed all the bullshit that I spoke. I actually believed it. That was the difference between me and other brothers that didn't make it in the pilot program. I actually believed everything that I said.
You gotta believe it. You right about that. And then Terry say 100. And he also say, exactly what kind of BS is that? I always said that I have to wait till heaven. No, I want to have a little taste now. I'm a heathen to them now. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah.
If you guys want to know what a little bit of heaven is like, we do experience it when we're having relations with our others. That's a little bit of what heaven is like. A little bit. That feeling.
But what if he got a little bit of... Never mind.
Well, we ain't worried about you guys. It's about us.
All right. So let's get back to it. I thank you, Pam. I have a nice singing voice. Some people will beg to differ. Some people says it sounds like a cat being murdered.
No, Dee back in her day and does some backing vocals and stuff. She could sing.
I used to. Now some shower stuff. And Eric says, Dee, I have a book for you, The Whiteness of Wealth by Dorothy A. Brown. This tax system is a noose. I will have to check that out because I like books. Let me actually take a picture of that because I know I ain't gonna write it down. Got it. All right. And Terry says, so I left the church altogether, yet Yah has not stopped blessing me. Right. God is not just in the church. God is in you. God is outside of the church. Right. So I'm with you. And Pam says, I'm in Cali. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, and don't. Like I said, if you're in your house, whatever. Here's the thing that really screwed up black people. The bullshit about, oh, you can get a bigger house. You can get this house. And that's what got, why would you get another house when you haven't paid for the one you're in currently? That doesn't make any sense. And that's how a lot of us got caught up. So whatever you're in, Terry, Pam, Stay where you're at. D will tell you, my house is 43 years old, built 1980, my family home. I'm here. I'm stuck. I mean, not stuck, but this is my foothold in California. I'm not leaving until I'm dead.
Yes, indeed. And Terry says we keep ours, Washington, D.C. And the Pioneer says, sis, that quote sounds like you may be an avid reader of Napoleon Hill. Oh, yes, absolutely. Say Minister Farrakhan said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to have some of his ministers read Mr. Hill and other books. One of my favorite books by Napoleon Hill is Outwitting the Devil. You can listen to that on YouTube as well. It's about 8 hours or so, but Outwitting the Devil is an excellent read. And also, his name just skipped, but it's just left my mind. It'll come back to me. Of course, it's Dale Carnegie, but that's not who I was thinking of. I was thinking of, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me. John L says, right, Donovan. Is that not how the oppressor taught the slave? You look to me, boy, you wait on me to want me to have it for you. And yes, queen, a white man's heaven is a black man's hell is my song. You can hear it on YouTube, and the minister remixed it on his new album. Yes, indeed. That's a classic. I remember being small, and my dad would be listening to it, and he'd be singing it like it was his own. My dad has a good singing voice too. Terry says she paid something like $30,000 for it. It's now appraised over $1 million. I'm doing the same thing they try. I had to literally fight in court to keep my house here in Pennsylvania. Talk about corrupt. Damn, that's a lot of equity for sure.
Yeah, here in California, especially in the LA Basin area, they have a lot of mobile homes, right? People, in the 70s and 80s, they just bought a little mobile home community, especially for the older people. It's something a little small, and they can just do their thing, right? They're forcing these people out of those mobile homes so they can build more apartment rises and stuff like that, so they can make more money. This is how dirty the game is getting, because the people are selling the property and saying, okay, well, where do all these older people need to go? They're going to give them subsidized apartments. Okay, but this is an older person. Now you got them in these subsidized apartments. I don't know how many stories or whatever it's going to be, but you're forcing them into a place that they technically can't afford. So it's sad.
I'm gonna put this in the comment section here, and I know it's way at the bottom, so I'll pin it in just a minute. And I'll tell you guys about it when I get to it. All right. So Mimi says, Donovan, you said it right there. They sold Big Mama's house, and now the grandkids are homeless. Yes, indeed. Yep. No family home. Frank says, I'm back in Cali, has no rent control. Nope. And Shimesh, you say, Donovan, right, group economics, we lost a long time ago, but we were forced put out of that thinking since before Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street has been our last stand at group economics as a nation oppressed by D. White. I'm gonna say that.
I don't know what's wrong with you black folk. Y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all young black people. Y'all don't know how to do nothing. Y'all don't do no group economics, nothing like that. Who taught y'all how to be like that? Who taught y'all? And that's the funny thing. And when I was on my podcast, Demetra, this guy, made a comment, and he said, well, what's wrong with these younger people, whatever. I had to remind him, if young people don't know shit, and young being our generation and below, we're in our 50s, so, young and below. I said, if we don't know something, that's not an indictment on us. That's an indictment on you. You didn't teach us nothing.
Yeah, you can look at it that way. Morning says, to make our love for you to speak on your governor, been made to look like a fool with the courts ruling against him for trying to make it where people don't have to wear masks. What's your take? So you're talking about Texas? I mean, y'all know how he gets down, the governor here. I know, it's just clearly he's trying to take people out, right? So it's just not surprising. And Jeremy says, have you heard about Lee Merritt? I know that he is running for, I think it's Attorney General for Texas. So I do know that. And Terry says, King shouldn't get a dime from our culture. So he doesn't, at least from me. Well, you say our culture, but if he is black as well, isn't it his culture too? I'm just asking questions. I'm not trying to tell y'all what to think. I'm just asking questions. Moni says, I'm loving the stories that you've been doing, Demetra, from the young lady with the color stitches to the gentleman that was harassing the couple for Black Lives Matter. I'm loving it. I hope you do longer. Yeah, I try not to do long segments on the African Diaspora News Channel because there's so much other content out there. And I'm one of those people, I just like to just give it to you quick, you know, because I know you'll probably watch then. And I just.
Yeah. And they say, and you know this, Demetra, as well, the average person's attention span is less than 10 minutes. So.
I know mine is. And so, Jeremy, you said him running for H-Town mayor. I thought it was more like attorney general, but is it mayor now? Lee Merritt. And then Terry says he has as much black in him that I have white in me, 11.5%. Well, if that counts, right? But he is saying that his biological father is black. So, and the Pioneer says the establishment has already made up their minds that they don't care how many people get sick and die. They're going to keep the economy moving. It's up to us as individuals to be safe. Yeah, it's a personal decision. Take precautions of your own. I mean, I do. I'm not out there willy-nilly, as the old people say, and just, you know, just cautioning to the wind. Frank says the infrastructure bill is some BS, so I'm going to get some of the, am I going to get some of the $1 billion? Probably
Hell
not.
no. Hell no.
Terry says, I think my grandmother was psychic. It was the one and only promise she made us make was to not sell her house ever. I wish more grandmothers or grandfathers would have rammed that message home. Don't sell my house. I'll come back and haunt your ass.
See, you know, we got to think about this too. Look at the people who had an opportunity to buy the houses in the 70s, which would be Demetra and my parents, even our grandparents that had homes. We didn't teach the younger generation, you know, we don't want to be bothered with it. Just think if we kept those homes, especially here in LA and South Central, do you know economically as a group how rich we would be? And I just learned this term the other day because I kept hearing it. Asians get involved in collective financing. I was like, what the hell's collective financing? And what it is they don't use banks. All the businesses get together and they loan each other money to start other businesses or improve the businesses that they have. Just think if we had done that collectively within our communities.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let's see here. And Thunder says, anyone can be poor, but you must learn how to be rich. To be poor, all you have to do is manage. You ain't lying. That is a word right there. Terry says, I didn't vote for Obama. I knew what it was. I'll be honest with you. I voted for him twice. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20, right? But you were smart. And Kojo, how you doing? He says, good evening from Brooklyn, everybody. And Anna, he says, I'm 35. I'm 50. I don't have to add no shame in the game. I'm 50. Today I'm 50. And Terry says, I love being between 40 and 62. Yeah, that's going to be a new one. How old are you? Between 40 and 60. Janelle says, Father Flager is white and he has helped black people to the point of being crucified. More than these so-called black leaders on the streets of Chicago, should we slander and spit on him because he's white? Excellent point. Father Flager is out there putting it on the line every day. And I'm not talking about in, you know, the Miracle Mile of Chicago. He is in the trenches. He's white. I mean, I'm just saying. And Zebras, how you doing? Donald, you say, soon there will be the mark of the beast, quote unquote, disguised as a question. You can't get food or patronize a business until you produce your papers, jab, or the mark. That's a good way to think about it. A lot of people saying this is prophecy, right? And the Pioneer says, I think Shaun King has black ancestry, but to your question, does race even matter if white people are helping us? If you are white and claiming to be black, that is a deception. So you obviously have an agenda. Yeah, that is deception. And you know what? Let's just put it on out there. Are we not cool? Wouldn't you want to be black if you was something else? I mean, look at us. Look at all this melanin, all this swag. All you know. I mean, come on, man. Do you blame them? Do you? I mean, I'm just asking.
Oh, and by the way, with in most of the pandemics that have happened around the world and stuff in history, the cats bailed us out. I don't think the cats can help us on this one.
The who?
Cats. The Black Plague was stopped by the cats.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't think the cats can help us on this one.
Oh.
We have to help ourselves.
Right. And Terry says, I didn't hear that about Shaun King. I need to do more reading about him. So I think Terry, Terry's actually watching it from the beginning because you can start the show over even though it's live. Okay, so And then Jafai says all police departments have a gang culture. Oh, they are the gang.
Yeah, they are a gang. They are a gang. Like I said, you got Negroes in there. And I keep telling you guys, I hate it. Well, we got to get more black. You got black police chiefs all over this nation and the culture hasn't changed.
Yep. And yes, Terry, I remember the show Scandal. And you say what y'all want, but sometimes I think art imitates life more than we know. Oh, for sure. Believe that. Pioneer says, laugh out loud. I know your daddy threw you out. Quote unquote, good looking woman like you got her legs open for every time, Dick and Harpo. Don't get me started on those quotes. That's the color purple, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, the color purple. Maybe one day we'll do a table read or some of the color purple. Donovan's got to be Mr. And Terry says, oh God, mahogany, it was so long ago. Yes, indeed. Me and my daughter watched it not that long ago.
And you can't stand it, Brian. Take your money, your house, your car, and get out of here, because I don't care. I'm going to make it. When I did that for those people, they were in shock because it was so believable because I sounded like her and my mannerism was like her, but I didn't get the part. But they came out and were like, oh, man, you took us by surprise. That was a great.
Terry says, you go, boy, laugh out loud. He says, I expected Billy D. And Jafai says, you sounded like the real Biash Donovan. and Morgan says, Donovan, I just subscribed to your channel, but you have some of your comments turned off. Is that regular? Can you tell me, Donovan, what you think about everybody having to do the jab in public? Well, he can do that on his page, but Donovan, tell him why your page you can't have no comments on your page.
Oh, well, basically because people get say some comments and I go right back at them.
Basically, YouTube says, keep it up.
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
It up. Next is going to be your whole channel. You ain't going to be able to have nothing on it. So that's why. That's why the other day, a couple weeks back, and people was like, oh, you're being mean to Donovan. Wasn't being mean to Donovan. I just know how these little social media things operate. I know. I know. Trust me.
I think I'm on 2 strikes right now. So, I mean, I'm right there.
Right. So he's got to be good. He got to be Mary Poppins now on his channel for a good while. And you got to be doing a lot to get strikes. And Frank says, plenty of fishes for women benefit. That site, they got all the attention. I'm cool on that site. I've never done any of that stuff. I've heard
I hear people doing it, but like I said, I've never done it. Well, I've gone on them, but I've never gotten anything off of them. So.
And Terry says, still sexy. I've been playing video games so much. Laugh out loud is not a pixel. I don't see rounds like allies don't see colors. Laugh out loud. And she says, Shaun King and anybody else that they will place to put kibbles and bits in our bowl is their way to make us puppies. Same as all the movies in the last 10 years. Black people need white heroes they can't do for themselves. Well, we don't need white heroes at all. But again, and I always ask this, so please don't take this as I'm being a jerk. But where's you guys' proof that he is not a black man? Or, his mom is white, but he's not black. I mean, I know his birth certificate says that he is white, but he says that his dad, his biological dad is actually black because his mom had an affair, but he wasn't trying to tell his mama's business. But when the internet works, they force him to do it. My mom's birth certificate says she was born on May 30th, but she was actually born on May 31st. My dad's birth certificate says that he was born February 7th, but he was actually born March 7th.
My mom's birth certificate says her name is Wonder instead of Wanda. So,
but then it's the other thing. This is where we got to do some critical thinking, right? So on one hand, we like, the oppressor be lying to us. Then we'll say, well, his birth certificate says one thing. Ain't that from the government too? I mean, I'm just asking some questions. I'm just asking. And Frank says the hell with Cuomo. You said I think you meant the hell with Cuomo. His didn't help black people in New York. Shaking my head. Well, it's probably true. I don't live in New York, right? I have to take your word for it. And Frank, you also say never vote Democrat again. He's recovered, Donovan.
Yeah, you're in recovery. Good for you, brother. Good for you. One day at a time. Just take it one day at a time.
Yes. Okay, let me see. Am I making a dent in these comments? No, I'm not. Okay, for real. We just gonna read and no talking. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Ooh. Oh my God. Okay, for real. Let me find it.
Yeah, Pioneer. They also call her Tia. That's her other nickname.
Oh, okay. So you okay. Oh no, because I had seen the DeBarge come. I was like, I got it. Terry says, years have been very kind to Mr. DeBarge. Well done. Yes, just I'm gonna listen to some DeBarge when I get off of here. Marty says Donovan can be a great actor. He's handsome and wonderful. Brown sugar, Demetra. I would love for you to be my esthetician instructor. That's what I see is your future. Beautiful. Keep up the lipophilic acids. Okay, I just be using like almond oil and stuff. Okay. And Prime says, sis, they call you D and Mitra. Does anyone ever call you Mimi? No, I never had that at all. But like Donovan was saying, some of my nieces and nephews call me Tia, D, of course. Some other things that aren't so kind. I'm just kidding. And let's see here. Terry says, I listen depending on who it is, and we figure it out. Otherwise, I don't want to hear I have my own issues, and I don't need to add hypertension to my asthma. No, get an addiction. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Hypertension is a bitch. Pam says, y'all got me laughing out loud. I laugh my ass off over here. And then Moni says, I like men that are sexy and variety, but I like them. Why do I always shake my shoulders when I read her comments? But I like to meet him. Like Alan Payne could have been my husband. Chico DeBarge. Yes, he's part of DeBarge. Oh, yes. If I could have Cab Calloway, would be my number one. Marvin Gaye. Okay, Lisa, you do got a variety going on. Terry says, thank you. This is, I think you made you fire. I know that. I swear it feels as if y'all grabbed me by the hand to make sure I knew who he is. Absolutely. Frank, Frank says, you got Cynthia G and Bester movement. Yeah, what is that? On YouTube, telling black women not to date black men. Just saying.
Most of them ain't dating us anyway.
They should be shunned. Like, they really should be shunned. Just I try my best to avoid that type of channels altogether. Just nonsense, right? We can't talk about Kevin Samuels and Tanya Sotomayor and then let people like that get a pass, right? They all should just be shunned for nonsense. If they talking something good, all right. But if that, nah. And then Sunlight says, is mahogany realistic?
Yeah, in some aspects, if you look at some people in that industry, yeah, there's a lot of. They say mahogany was kind of based semi-biographical on things that were going on.
I would say it's realistic because you never know, right? You could be a sketch artist girl one day delivering, sketches or designs, and then next thing you wearing them. I don't know.
What about women that have a man that has a political goal and he wants to make it, but then you have your dreams and you want to do your thing. So that's kind of realistic in its aspect.
Well, not will it work though. And then Terry says it's been so long celibate, so I don't remember. I'm kidding. It's been a long time, but you never really forget. Yeah.
You too, Demetra?
Honeydew, you say, hey, I'm back trying to catch up. And she messages, Demetra Kaye looks like a piece of heaven to me. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Janelle says, right down of a belief is the power and what is belief? Faith, the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. And I don't even go to church, but I remember that one. Believe whatever the mind can conceive, believe it, it can achieve it, or achieve motion and faith. All praise is due to Allah. We shall rise. I am that I am. One of my two favorite words is I am. Yes, indeed. JJ, how you doing? It says no hot grits, no Lorena Bobbitt. Tie him up. Use vapor big. Wow, big vapor rub or icy hot. He will feel the heat quickly. You say that's Vicks vapor rubs, huh? Can it be generic or do it got to be Vicks? I'm just kidding. Marty says if we had an activist in every state, a minimum of 35, we could shut it all down. And that's what they're scared of. White supremacy would rather see you high on drugs. Didn't see you have power shut down. Yes, in Michigan, had some power outages with 700,000 people. And Anna says, yes, Earl Nightingale. Yes, that's what it was. And I put it in the box, The Strangest Secret. I'm gonna put it up when I get to it. That's how far behind I am. And the pioneer says, you two think it was your belief and determination that was key to your success. However, you two were simply smart enough to succeed in the society. You got to have a combination, but it starts with a belief.
Yeah. And like me coming out of the military, knowing that there's benefits there, I just asked the right questions. That's why your tax dollars paid for my 12 degrees. I just found a way to do it and just manipulated the numbers.
You just had to throw that in there, huh? And Frank says, pioneer, laugh out loud, you know, he got mob ties. And Sunlight says, see, same here, Donovan, I'm a family home, but if I can get a shotgun on the parade route back in my beloved New Orleans, I'm gone. I know that's right. Shotgun the house, right? That's what they call it.
Wait. Sunlight, you're from New Orleans, Louisiana? Okay. I was born there too. I mean, I was born there, but okay.
And I'm gonna start going past some of these other comments that are kind of repetitive, and so we can get to the end, and then I'll start reading them one after the other again. Pioneer says, sis, are you trying to think of Norman Vincent Peale? No, but I've read his stuff too. You said Power of Positive Thinking or Dale Carnegie. Yes, read his stuff, How to Influence and Influence People. I think anybody in sales have read that one. And he says, I love How to Outwitting the Devil. Please, that is that is a thought-provoking read, I'm telling you. And up here I have The Strangest Secret. Earl Nightingale was big back in the day. I remember my parents listening to his, I don't know if it was records or whatever it was, cassette tapes is what it was. And he would talk about positive thinking. And this here, The Strangest Secret, to YouTube that. It's about 30 minutes long, but it will change your life. I promise you, it will change your life. I listened to it a lot, especially when I was going through some things mentally. It changed my life. And Terry says, they taught us that, laugh out loud, I hate to say they dropped the ball, so they didn't tell us. And Amoni says, Donovan, not have to disagree. The Lorena Bobbitt got mad. Respect me, John Bobbitt, a multi-pouring millionaire. He didn't have much below, before, but afterwards he had well endowment. Okay. And Pam says, professor told me I would never learn calculus because I wasn't doing well in pre-calculus. When I went to Cal State, I think University of Long Beach, she says, I got an A in calculus. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. I know that's right, but I'm telling you right now, what I can't do is calculus. I know my limit.
I can do calculus, yeah. And it's amazing because I was really bad at math, and I had to, when I got to college, I had to start math. Because remember, a lot of us, we were raised up on flashcards. How many of you guys remember that in the 70s? Flashcards. But what they didn't tell you, and a lot of you guys that struggled, like myself, when you got to algebra, it wasn't that you knew the answer. I can get the answer because it was in my mind. We had memorized it from flashcards. But in algebra, you had to show your work how you got there. And that's what got me. And I just lost my confidence in math. Got to college, I had to rebuild from scratch. And I went all the way back up to calculus.
Yeah, I don't retain the information. I'll get it up front, but then after a couple of minutes, it's like, I don't know how I made it this far in math.
But then why learn all that if you're not going to be a scientist? You know, they should gear math more to realistically what you're going to use it for.
Do you know how to count your money? Then that's all that matters. I'm just kidding. Honeydew says Lee Merritt office right here, Philadelphia. So that confuses me about him running for a Texas office. Yeah, does he have a real estate or a home here too? That's very interesting. And let's see here. And Terry says, what I've heard about Shaun King was that he was a male version of Rachel Dolezal. That's what they say. And you know who put that out there about him? The white right-wing media put those narratives out there about him, and we just picked it up and went right along with it. The white people did that to Shaun King. They did that, and we just believe it. We just went right along with it.
Well, when the white man says it, it's got to be true.
Yeah, he says, I didn't hear anything about him doing the work. Today is the first I heard about him being black at all. Yeah, he is black. You can look at him and tell that's why I'm like, well, people, like, you can tell. You can look at him and see that he's got some brother in him.
Yeah, well, you know, again, you know, the minute I saw this dude, he's a brother and stuff, even though, and I saw the birth certificate, I was like, it was obvious to me his mom or his dad had an affair. Somebody, one of those two parents had an affair, and there it is.
And that's what he said. He just wasn't trying to put his mama out there, but they forced him to do it, you know, because he said he's lost so much money and opportunities just by all the lies and stuff that's been told about him. And so I don't know. Do we want him to destroy him? Do we want him to die? Like, what is the end game here? You know? And Honeydew says, laugh out loud, I need mahogany to be realistic. And she says, the mindset of the enemy is to create generational gaps. This is meter to Judge Coons from Nat Turner's. Good way to put it. So he said, happy birthday. Thank you for talking to Moni. And Pam says, collective financing, quote unquote. Donovan, you're absolutely correct. I heard about that as well. Yeah, they've always done it. They go to each other. There's a book called The Hidden Secrets to Oriental Wealth. And a good friend of mine by name of he gave it to me. It's an ebook. And I've sent it to a lot of people. It's a life-changing book, but it talks about how they raise money and help each other. Got something in my eye. Okay, let's see here. And Frank says, Pioneer, honestly, I got into it with him. You would see him hospitalized on CNN. And then Terry says, what bothers me about transracial, quote unquote, is it's the pinnacle of white supremacy. Only white people can be transracial. Nothing I can do that I can change my race and it be accepted by the masses. Yeah, back in the day, you had some black people who could pass, as they would say. But yeah, you're right. It's always got to be the other way around, right? And I mean, look at the Kardashians. Honeydew says, hold on, Father Flager of Chicago has child molestation charges on him. Was he cleared? Yes, he was cleared. He was cleared. He was absolutely cleared. So
yeah, and isn't it funny that when a person is cleared, the news doesn't blow that up or the media doesn't blow that part up, but the minute he's accused, oh, you're guilty. That's it. You know, you're done.
I always tell y'all really quickly, one of my favorite movies is Doubt with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Meryl Streep, and Viola Davis, where Philip Seymour Hoffman was a kid. Now, if y'all haven't seen it, I'm trying not to give it away, but he was accused of doing that. He was a priest in a church, and he gives a sermon, and he says, you know, the one thing about gossip is like cutting a feathered pillow open and letting it go into the wind and letting all the feathers go out, and then trying to go back and collect those feathers. He says you'll never collect all the feathers, and that's what gossip is, because once it's out there, it's out there, and there'll always be somebody that will believe those stories. So, and Jeremy says the only way you can, he says some of that, get some of that infrastructure money is to get in the stock market.
Or get on the good foot and start that construction business and get into those bids. That's another way to do it. Collectively, get all the brothers together and the women and ladies, start your construction company and put your bids in. Start doing it. That's the only way you're going to get that money.
Mm-hmm. I saw one down the street. I might need to go talk to them brothers. That's a good reason to go talk to them. Have y'all heard about the infrastructure bill?
Now make sure the owner isn't white. And that's another thing too. A lot of the incentives to bring minority construction businesses or just things to be incentivized, you will find that a lot of the white folks hide their ownership by like corporations and all this other stuff. They hide it and they hire all these black folks, and a black person might run it. Like we have this guy, he's a developer here. He's the front man for the company when there's a bunch of white guys that actually give him all the money.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see here. And Frank's, so he's talking to Honeydew. I'm gonna read past all the replies. And Pioneer says, every day you hear crowds of illegal immigrants found under bridges and dying in traffic accidents. They're bringing them in by the thousands to replace the workers they expect to get sick and die. Yes, indeed. And let's see here. Morning says here in Michigan, there's a lot of that fight foreclosures. That more better areas like Bloomfield, Birmingham, many of the realtors try to keep that off the market so they can get it for themselves. Yes, indeed. And Anais says, I need an explanation of, oh, shoot, my comments. Hold on a second. I think I'm catching up. Let's see. I hate when these comments jump up. He says, okay, I need an explanation of the color purple. I didn't understand it. Then that's a movie you got to watch over and over again, and it starts making sense. And Terry says, I ain't mad at Donovan. He can handle his own. Laugh out loud. And let's see here. Frank says, Jeff Bezos' wife gave us money. That's what's up. Yeah, she did. And she continues to do it. And Pam says, wow, my mom was born May 30th. Yeah, mine was, her birth certificate says 30th, but it was 31st. And Frank says, Gaddafi tried to unite Africa and make a form of currency called the dinar. Yeah. And America was like, yeah, right. And let's see here. And I'm just go back to some of these other comments. And Terry, you say that's a bit of a hang up, though. The fact is that he lived his life as privileged white man, even if his father is black and he is the product of an affair. He can't take it off by saying he's lying. Or he didn't live his life as a black man. I read his book right here.
You mean a white man?
Yeah, she's saying, oh, I'm going to knock everything down to get it. So it's in this book. I read it because I like to study, different people and stuff. I read this book. Even though his mom is white, he's never lived his life as a white man per se. And there's documentation from, because Shaun King was brutally beaten by white people. He lived in a predominantly white town by white kids at his high school, beaten to the point of where they broke his back and his neck. And you guys see the scar on his face. He was jumped and brutally beaten because they knew he was black. And the police officer, even in a report, says they, he called him the black kid, Shaun, they labeled him as black. And even a lot of kids that went to his school who said they never knew him personally, but they knew of him. And they said, we always knew he was black. So there's a lot of documentation that says that Shaun King is black, but he's never lived himself life as a white man. In fact, Shaun King was the president, not that that makes a difference, but he was a president of Morehouse when he was there. He received the Martin Luther King Award and a whole bunch of other stuff before he even came into prominence. And so Shaun King has never lived his life as a white man. So, I hope you guys will do some research, but stop believing that this is the show. Don't believe the hype. Stop believing what white people tell y'all.
Yeah, well, let me break this down. One thing about white folks, they know, black folks when they see one, because it's like they're just opposed to us. So they know. Yeah.
Let's see here. And Frank says, Compton sheriffs are killing us. Yeah, nothing new there. Terry said, hell, they call me Super Mammy. What? It is what it is. I know who I am. Who calls you that? And let's see here. Honeydew says, shaking my head, Cynthia G need to take that bang. Somewhere thought by her sweat. What is that? It like covers it's like a whole side of her face. It's kind of weird. Pioneer says, I remember Mahogany because my girl Diana Ross did a quick nude scene putting on a robe. Terry says, let me say for the record, unless something has changed, I don't remember Cynthia G being a proponent of divesting. I actually got that she's against swirling. I don't know about others though. I've kind of heard as of late or within the last couple of months or so that she's kind of talking down on black men, but I've only watched a portion of one show and I was like, yeah, okay, this is not for me. But honestly, there's a lot of people I don't watch because I don't like the politics, if that makes any sense. And Marty said, Donovan, when we put our money together, that was Black Wall Street. It was Rosewood. Remember, the beast came through and burned it down, and they still don't want to compensate for what they took from us. Yes, indeed. And Terry says, tax dollars paid for mine too. I'm not against it. And Pioneer says, when it comes to the role of belief, I noticed that most women tend to focus more on how things should be, and men tend to focus on how things are. We need a compromise between the two. Yes, indeed. It's all about compromise. Should be. And let's see here. And Pioneer says, Queen, I'm going to take you up on your offer. The Stranger Secret by Earl Nightingale. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm telling you, you're going to be like, wow, this is some good stuff right here. And Shemesh says, you guys are great. Keep pushing on. Thank you. And you guys are great as well. We really appreciate you. And Terry says, I hated calculus, but I have to do it sooner or later. I'm learning it because I will not be defeated. I know when to tap out. Math was, I got whoopings behind bringing F's home in math. I'm like, I don't get it.
But here's what I did. I'm gonna give you guys a quick thing that helped me like catch up really quick. There was one term where all I had was math classes from, just one term full of 12 units of math classes. Here's what I did. Find you an Asian, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. I had this 6-foot Asian chick that tutored me the whole time when I went through my math, and she was very, very good. And a lot of schools, they have the student tutors that are there for free, and you just go through them, and they'll help you,
all of my daughter, my nephews, all mathematical geniuses, but they couldn't help me. There was no hope. I'm telling you,
it was the frustration of dealing with you.
I just couldn't do it, and I don't like to succumb to defeat, but I could. The Lord even knew. He knew He didn't wire me like that, to where He gave me my professors who said, and it was just really by the grace of God, that says, listen, I know some of y'all ain't been in math since high school, and that's been a long time for you. Just show up to class and try to do the homework, and you're gonna pass. I like to fell out, because I was like, this it's got to be God, right? And that's how I ended up passing. It's true story. And he says, I didn't get good at math until college. Yeah, I didn't. I had some good professors, boy. They was like, just show up. And somebody says, algebra, calculus, trig, etc. is useless. Took them and all did well, but never used it in real life. Exactly. Sophia says, Shaun King's wife is black. Yes, right. He says, if you hang around black people long enough, you will take on their looks. They have 5 beautiful children. I don't think he is half black at all. Well, he is half black, and they've been together since they were in high school. They've been together a long time. But there's lots of documentation to prove that Shaun King is half black. So, I mean, like I said, if you just don't believe it, then there's really nothing anybody would do to change your mind. But yeah, there's lots of documentation to say that he is half black. So Jonelle says, this nation will fight against anybody bringing black people mainly awareness to choose more or less any form of elevation. Yes, indeed. And she says the Haiti Revolution was stopped by using what group of people racially? He says it was why using what group of people racially? I don't know. I don't know if I understand your question, but are we talking about black people? Toussaint Louverture? Is that who we're talking about? He led the Haitian Revolution. Is that who we're talking about? And Pam says, I had to take calculus because I was a mechanical engineer major. Oh, for sure. Says, however, I changed majors when I transferred to CSU, Dominguez Hills. It's a long story, but for a good cause. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, that ain't nothing but math. And Thunder says the 48 Laws of Power is a great book. It's a must read. And if you want to get into the warrior mindset, read the Hagakure. I hope I said that right, but I know I didn't. I started to read the 48 Laws of Power, but I didn't. My father advised me against it because he said it was to teach you how to manipulate people. So I never picked it up. My father, is very astute man and reads a lot. He was like, it's just a book of manipulation. So I may look at it one day. Where'd he go? Jonelle, you say they slander first, then they murder. Media is their number one tool. Yep. And we run away with it. And Pioneer says, sis, how about you and Donovan save up your vacation money and buy some land to buy a private community? I move in and help take care of it. Laugh out loud. I have to move around more, telling the black folks. That's an idea right there, right? But we should be thinking along those terms, build a community of, like-minded black people where we can really do something, right? And Thunder said also the book, What Makes the Great Great? Okay, I have to check that one out too. And Jonelle says America is Gotham Straight, bad baby London, aka Babylon. Yes, indeed. And Frank says Anais, the movie, that movie Color Purple was predictive programming. Hate that movie. Yeah, a lot of people said it taught black women to despise, well, even more so, right? Black men, because his character was a horrible individual. And they tried to redeem him at the end where he finally helps them get together. But it's like, damn, you made their whole life miserable.
What was that movie, Little Black Girls? I mean, that's why I don't follow Tyler Perry, because he makes black men look just terrible.
For Color Girls. I think that was, he helped, but it was Lee Daniels, I think, that helped with the movie. And Pam says, I wish I could meet Demetra and Donovan in person, even if we have to stand 6 feet apart. And you're in California, right? Well, the next time I come out that way, we'll see if we'll make it happen. Because Donovan's in California. So when I come out that way, I'll let y'all know. It'll be a couple times more this year, I'm thinking. Maybe. And the Pioneer says, Brother Donovan, you're absolutely correct. I remember when I briefly worked construction for an allegedly black company, I found out 5 of the owners were de-white and only one was black.
Yeah. And that's how they get this money. Money that is deemed for minorities, they found ways to go around that rule and get that money. So if I see let's say a young brother out there and he's an entrepreneur type, I'll say, hey, I'll invest in your company and stuff like that, but keep me out. I'll be a silent partner. Then you can go get these grants and loans that are specifically for minorities, but yet most of the money's coming to me. But that's how we have it in our politics too. Isn't that the same thing? You get these black politicians that, oh, I'm for the black folks. I'm from the hood. You know, I'm going to go and fight for reparations. 30 years later, the person's still in there. They're multimillionaires. And then the neighborhood's been gentrified.
Yep, and their neighbors are white. She says, Trump gave y'all black asses money too. Trick for trade. Yes, he did. And Terry says, I'm going to read his book. Yeah, I think it's worth reading. It's very insightful. And Terry says, isn't it something how much louder the lies are? I didn't know any of this. Yeah, that's why, you know, one thing I really hate about the internet is a good tool, but just anything flies on there. And just you can say anything you want and people will believe it because it sounds credible, right?
I mean, look at all these white folks that actually believe Trump is a good businessman and the insurrection were patriots and stuff. Do you guys know that if you try to overthrow your government in any other country, if it was a black person, there would have been a massacre of black people killed that day.
Okay.
Only in this country where white supremacy is prevalent do they get probation and all that other stuff. Do you know when an insurrection happens, number one, the insurrectors are either outright killed or hung later on, and anybody connected to them are killed and hung or imprisoned because it sends a strong message that this isn't the way to go about it. I believe, honestly, our white brothers and sisters, they do not believe in democracy. They believe in white supremacy, and that's the big difference.
Yes, indeed. And Moni says, at the end of the day, when you get money, you're going to have to stack it. If you don't have a home, you're looking into it. It's nothing like having your own. Michigan landlords can be slumlords sometimes. Yeah, and I just think that's everywhere. Jafia says, but D, isn't that the same thing Rachel did? No, it's not the same thing Rachel did. Rachel flat out lied and said that she was a black woman.
And she stood on it like with 10 toes until her parents outed her.
And then she finally admitted it. So it's not the same thing because she's actually not black. And Shaun King is partially black. So it's not the same thing, in my opinion. And Thunder says, and if you want something to keep yourself centered and balanced, read Marcus Aurelius' book, Meditations. Yes, indeed. I said I was going to get off into, Plato and Socrates and all of them. I was actually at the bookstore the other day and I saw some books by him. I like philosophy and things like that, so I may check it out.
But isn't that crazy? Like one thing I like, you guys won't believe this, I love bookstores. I could sit in with Borders and stuff. I was a member there, and then the other one,
Barnes and
Noble. I love sitting in those stores. I love reading those books for free. I love libraries. But when you look at the modern day now, you barely see black people or even younger black people in bookstores.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
I went not too long ago. I've seen some, proportionate to the demographics. And Terry says, I got my information from black folks in college, no less. Laugh out loud. And she says, Trump gave out y'all money too. It's called trick for trade. Yeah. And Frank says, she says she's got with white men for money. Cynthia talks about black men. That's okay to y'all black women. She's even brought a white man on to talk bad about black women. We have to keep the same energy. Really? Come on now. See that? Like, why? And like I said, I don't follow her or anybody who thinks like her at all. I just, I just hate it all. I hate that there's a space for people to dog black men and women, and people follow that. It's awful. So
Demetra made me get rid of my subscription to Tommy Sotomayor.
Said I was gonna shank him up. Hey Wade, how you doing? And Pioneer says, you know what I've noticed about this channel for months. I've been on here and I haven't seen any trolls posting comments. Y'all have to delete. That's good. However, it's weird. I sometimes we used to get them like really bad. I don't know what's going on now. Knock on wood, right? Hey Rick, how you doing? It says, hey Demetra and Donovan, I'm late, but I'm back to where I feel appreciated. Yay! And Pioneer says, go back and read the chat and you don't see any deleted comments as if a moderator had to erase them. Do y'all have a troll repellent or something? Laugh out loud. No, I honestly don't know what it is. You know what? I just really think it's a space where everybody can be heard. and we not on here and this and you and that and you and that. It's like, let's just have a conversation. That's, you know, that's what makes the world go round. We have a conversation and we, you know, vibe off of each other and bounce ideas. So, you know, I hope they don't come now that we were talking about it. And Moni says, I enjoy having you both around. Thank you for making wonderful Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, and helps me to celebrate my birthday to meet you. Please get an Instagram account and YouTube, Donovan. I have one. I just never on there. I don't like Instagram. There's too much nonsense on there. Jonelle says, in this various war zone, stay safe. Peace. Yes, indeed. And peace unto you as well. And Frank says, Tyler Perry is the worst. Him and Lee Daniels. Yeah, there's some good and bad out of what they're trying to do. Put it that way. And he says it's witchcraft all over the 48 laws of power, and it's vexed my spirit. Yeah, I mean, that's what my dad was saying. It's manipulation. Defiant says, when a father is absent, you can make him anything you want. Amanda Seals claims that her absent father is foundational Black American. People who know her from Grenada says that both her parents are Grenadian. Okay, yeah, I've heard about some stuff about her as well. Kind of saying some salty things about Black men. And then Frank says, I'm in the OC though. Okay. Barney says, Queen, your father is correct. The 48 Laws of Power is a book of manipulation and has a lot of truth in it, but much of it deals with psychological manipulation. Sounds like some Yakub's teaching. Yeah, he warned me against reading. He said, it's not a book you really need to read. And he says 48 Laws of Power was Eurocentric as well. And Terry says, a live stream session would be amazing. Maybe it's time for y'all to both start touring. You know, we've actually heard that for some time now, you know, the pandemic and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't be against it. I don't know what we talk about, but where we get Donovan up there on stage and he can do his impression of mahogany. All right, so I'm gonna get past it because I know we're running out of time here. She says, Demetra, Kaye reminds me of nothing about The Color Purple except award winning. Okay. Oh, I appreciate that. You know, Color Purple is one of my mom's favorite movies. Oh my God. I remember her and my grandma went to the movies to see it. Now that's how old I am. I remember them leaving. And they came back and just talked about it all night. And Marty says, Donovan, I don't care what you say. You got some Black men that say they are for the Black community, star Black channels, YouTube and others, but yet at home they have a white woman or have a Hispanic. Yeah, well, you know.
But again, why should they be happy? What does that have to do with them? Does that make them less Black because they have a white person or whatever? I mean, you got some sisters out there as well that have white men. Does that make that person less Black? That's what I'm saying.
I just think too that we should get really like, I think sometimes, and I'm trying to be careful because I think sometimes we get too involved in what people are doing personally. We gloss over all the things they're doing for the Black community and say, aha, I knew it. You know, and it's like, so all the good I've been doing, you hopped all the way over there to highlight something you find problematic.
And maybe because, you know, they're in a mixed relationship, whatever, they want to keep their ties to their Black community by doing activism in regards to that.
And Pam says, Donovan is right. You need a math tutor, especially when math isn't your cup of tea. I had a supplemental class taught by college students. Even that, I'm telling you, y'all, I was just lost cause. Frank says, I agree, Donovan. They believe in white supremacy. That's why both parties don't do nothing for us.
And that is why both parties, if another party rises, both parties will come together to attack that rising party.
All the time.
All the time.
Yep.
White supremacy, one party.
Mm-hmm. And partners, Brother Donovan, that's exactly what they're called. Silent partners, quote unquote, in the minority business. They look like mobsters because they sit around in gold chains eating during the business meetings, laugh out loud. And Morning says, I'll say this in summary. I watch a woman or a man that is in entertainment or TV, YouTube, Instagram, whatever public eye, but they never let you see their spouse get mad when talking on it. Well, do you blame them? Like I'm here doing what I'm seeing or acting. Y'all don't need to know about what I do at home. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to talk about, what I'm doing personally either. So, all right, let's close it out here. Terry says that was given out of context, but too long to explain here. Honeydew says, no, you didn't say his name. Donovan and the Pioneer says, I love going to Borders when it was open and Barnes and Noble's bookstores. I love reading, and I also went there to pick up women. Okay. Terry says, that's not the entire story, just like this with Shaun. Okay. And Pioneer says, it says, I hear you, sis. It's embarrassing and shameful to hear Black men and women sitting around bashing each other on their channels. You know, whites, racists are lurking those channels, getting talking points. Yeah, they need to be shunned, just completely shunned. It's stupid at this point. Honeydew says, yes, I was sitting in a bookstore pretending to read. Y'all silly. Go there with your nice little red lipstick on, and some nice librarian glasses.
I'm telling you, I mean, you really, I mean, you could meet a lot of people and, whatever, but you meet really intelligent people who know the arts and know the classics. I was talking to my nephew yesterday, and I was talking to him about the Count of Monte Cristo. And he was like, what's that? I was just like, oh my God.
And Honeydew says, what the hell is trim, you old man?
Yeah, that's an old person's term. Yes, yes.
Oh, that's like 1970s. Horn stash.
Yeah, go watch 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. And when Eddie gets out of jail, he's on a trim hunt. And that's in the movie.
Lord have mercy. And Sunlight says, yes, it does make them less Black. You can't claim to be for Black empowerment while simultaneously procreating or sleeping white.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying with that, Sunlight, but what I'm saying is, okay, you're Black, I'm Black. I'm not talking about their relationship and their dynamic. I'm talking about me personally. Does that make me less Black because I dated outside of my race? I mean, me as an individual, I think I'm still Black.
I mean, that's really a loaded conversation. I mean, it really truly is. Because you know what I always say, Sunlight? I always ask people this. There's a lot of Black men and women who are in relationships and ain't doing shit for Black people. So you got to be more than just Black. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we say, well, I'm Black. Okay, great. What is your Blackness doing for other Black people? Well, I'm married to a Black man. Great. What are you and your Black man doing to help Black people? Well, we just Black. But then you have a Black man or a
Black, blackity, black, blackity, black.
Yeah. But then people want to fire on people who aren't. And listen, my man is Black. He's Black and he's white. Okay, just to put it out there, he's mixed. Never knew. He just actually discovered his white family. Never knew them. Raised by his Black family. But so I guess the point that I'm making is I've only been with Black men, but I just really think sometimes we get too concerned with who people are with opposed to what they're actually doing. Right? All right. So Frank says, if Black women don't speak to you or check you for you, why would you wait around for one to pop out of the sky now? I'm not waiting around. Stay single, because a lot of Black women only like 20% of Black men. That's not true. That is not true at all. Because on the flip side, there's a lot of Black women be like, y'all don't like us. But that's because we listening to the propaganda of your Cynthia G's and your Kevin Samuels. Don't come for me, please, Lord have mercy. And you Tommy Sotomayor's and those people talk bad about each other. And we're listening to that. But hell, most Black people I know, they each other. So I'm like, that's propaganda. It really is. All right. And Donovan says, I think as sexy and brown sugar as you are, you deserve a Sphinx. And I hope you have a Sphinx cat to perhaps wear as King Tut in your own castle. You all have been having a lot of bush fires. Okay.
Yeah. No, I usually get either feral cats or cats from the shelter and give them a good life. So as
I was reading that, my daughter, she's reading her book. She pulled her glasses down and went. She said, oh, I know she ain't talking about Donovan. No, she didn't say that. I said that. All right, for real. Okay, and it's like I said, there's no Black empowerment without the Black family. I said, man, woman, and child equals family, no more, no less. Okay, and the Pioneer says, if you notice, most major Black stores Major bookstores are near shopping malls, while the average person is in the mall spending money. The more intelligent people are in the books gathering knowledge. Yes, indeed. And yes, Pioneer, we will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. We will be back. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll find something. If y'all have any ideas, let us know. It's free flow Friday, so we talk about everything, right? We might just start off with saying, hey, how you doing? And Frank says, but I don't give up on my women. You bet not. We'll come and see about you if you do. And Thunder says, and let's not forget Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. Yes, I have that back here as well. But yes, we all should read that. Most definitely. And Moni says, Barry Connell Coles is a self-hypnosis, and I used to listen to him in the 90s. I think that's his stuff is still relaxing. Though he passed away about 5 years ago, his stuff is still good. Let me know if you like. Well, I don't want to be hypnotized. I might be running around here clucking like a chicken or something. And Frank says, Pioneer says that word is funny. And she says, does it make you less Jewish if you date a Nazi during World War II? No, but it does make you trash. Yeah. And Pam says, Demetra, I agree with you. And Jafia says, I don't personally know any black man or women who doesn't like each other. Yeah, I personally don't either. And if I've heard somebody like that, they gonna get an education from me. You can believe that. And Frank says, so you sure so black women don't say 9 to 5 black men are boring. Black women don't say that they want a man with swag. Listen, okay, can I be real with y'all? Okay, I'm gonna let my daughter answer this because she cannot read her book for some of these comments. What you got to say? He says, you sure so black women don't say a 9 to 5 black men are boring. Black women don't say they want a man with swag.
Who said 9 to 5 men are boring?
She wants to know where you're getting that 9 to 5 men are boring.
So we like unemployed men.
She said, so can y'all hear her? You heard her? So she said, you're saying that they like unemployed men? I'm I'm
looking for me a construction man right now.
Okay, she said she's looking for a construction man right now. We done passed a whole host of.
I need a greenhouse built, not a road built.
You see what I'm saying? Now that's right there. She said, I need a house construction man, not no road construction man. Now see, that's some BS right there.
Right now, women, if you're looking for some real good men, if you're looking for a good man, go to Home Depot and Lowe's. At least you know a person that lives in an apartment ain't going to Home Depots and Lowe's.
Yes, maybe my son-in-law is in Home Depot. We'll find out. All right. And Honeydew says, yeah, Pioneer. I'm old, so. Morning says, we're in a biblical prophecy. The standard of white supremacy knows that it's time. So we're now having less than food prices and shut up everyone. Even more is coming. Watch God when he works. I suggest you get away. Yes, everything is going up. And Frank says, I'm talking about the type of black men and women pick and they say they like. Yeah, I don't know no women talking about they want some man who's going to do nothing all day. Honeydew says, we don't need swag.
When was the last time swag paid the bill? But go ahead.
Last thing I know is swag sit on the couch playing video games and Jordans and lazy in the bed. Probably. I ain't speaking for myself. When I was 20, I could say that was true, Anyway. And okay, I'm gonna skip some of these other comments in the Queen. Pioneer says, Queen, I meant to say that this other week. I like the princess, your daughter, to pop in to chat tomorrow on Sunday. I'll be trying to get her on here, but y'all got to say something to get her riled up and she'll speak. Moni says, would you still be black? But if you're going to be married to someone that is standard white supremacist, at least be out front with it and don't sit back and hide who your spouse is, and then others have to put you on YouTube.
Well, you got to remember, all the other cultures, if you look at their women are basically raised to be subservient, kind of, sort of. That's why, the woman, you never see her, and she's cool with that. Only in our culture, and I hope I'm wrong about this, but this is what I've noticed in our culture, where our women want to sit up there and I can stand just like him. You can't tell me where to stand. I can speak for myself. I don't need you to speak for me. You ain't nobody to me. My daddy don't talk to me like that. My mama raised me to be a strong, independent black woman, even though I'm getting child support and all this other stuff from the government. Y'all can't tell me nothing. You don't see the other cultures doing that on a whole.
But damn, brother, tell us how you really feel. Damn. Oh God. All right. Frank says, y'all never heard of this. Okay. I'm wait. I'm actually it says, I'm making this up. Go on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You see what these black women post. You know, I'm not friends with women who do that. I swear. If they are, and I just maybe don't see it. I've heard of women doing it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just personally don't see it. And I wouldn't be friends with people who act like that. That is just crazy.
But the issue is, it's not that.
They can't hear you.
It's not that all black women are like that. It's that black men be looking for black women who are like that. You know, the, ooh, I'm a baddie type. You're not looking for a down-to-earth, real cute, real nice, about her stuff, sweet black woman. You looking for a baddie who is looking for a baller.
Anna, speaking of which, did you hear about that girl that she was like 27 and she dated that basketball guy when he was super young, and they had a baby, and she just got awarded $200,000 a month.
She said she think that amount is a rumor, but
or something like that. But the point is, she had an ulterior motive. I'm not mad at her for playing the game. I'm not.
She was on video saying, "Get you an athlete because they're stupid." Yeah. And she says, "What is your mama looking for, little girl?" And Pioneer says, "A lot of people don't like to pull their family into their work, but your daughter sounds like an intelligent and opinionated young lady. She has a lot to say and can't hold it back." Laugh out loud. No, she's very intelligent, but you know where she get that from, right?
Her grandmother.
Nah, she's really smart. We be going at it sometimes. Boy, it be like, whoo, we be arguing to the death of here. You know, I'll be like intellectual though, right? Of course, I'm always right. So, all right. And Frank says, maybe it's the females out here or the low lives. Maybe so. And Moni says, Demetra got a good point, and I'm with you 100%. I hate the phonies where they always bash a man if he dates a woman that is Hispanic, but then no, their wives is Caucasian or maybe Hispanic. Yes, indeed. And Jafai, I thank you so much for that. He said, share 1% of that with Donovan. Yes, I will. It's all yours, Donovan. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Frank said, Sunlight, you never heard women say that? He said, those are the men they pick. And the Pioneer says, Donovan, you're absolutely correct that our women tend to be more outspoken than a lot of other groups. The reason for this is they don't have to rely on black men like women do in other groups. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Frank says, I know all black women are, I think you meant are not like that, but you got them on YouTube with thousands of subs. Check out Cynthia G and Chrissy. Who is Chrissy? And you say our women have to assert themselves. No other women have to do. Not like ours. It's just the gear shifts need to be worked on between both Negro male and female. You're absolutely right. And Honeydew, you got the last comment. It says, I'm starting to fall back from women to I'm sad to say. Yeah, we need to get it together. Stop all this bickering, right? It's just nonsense. And you said a swirler, Frank. And last morning says, here in Michigan, people don't even visit malls too much when they go. They're virtually empty because everybody buys Amazon and like the best. I don't have to deal with races. Yes, indeed. And Carmen, how you doing? He says, I've been damn near excommunicated at black churches for asking for accountability with finances. Yeah, you can't do that there. Terry says Cynthia G is doing tough love. She does not hold white people of any type of pedestal. I have to check it out. I mean, I've been watching a long time.
Yeah, and Carmen, let me correct you a little bit or give you some insight. If that church is a 503c and it's getting tax exempt status, they have to show you their books. They have to. That's a law. They cannot withhold that thing from you. If you got to go get a policeman to have them bring those books to you, they have to do it. Yeah. But they depend on our ignorance or our appeal to their authority to just go away. But yeah, you have every right if they've got non-exempt status to get those books.
Somebody said exactly, who is Chrissy? We don't know. She's irrelevant. Yeah, who is Chrissy? And then Carmen says, I've been damn near excommunicated at black churches for asking for accountability. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, I read those comments. I read it. So anyway, he says, can I send you some more videos of the gentleman who brutally in the news from being stabbed? Oh, I ain't heard about that one. I'm sure it'll come across me eventually. But anyway, y'all, so we'll be back tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. Central Time. Donovan's looking like, if she don't shut up, my chicken is getting cold.
Actually, I made some red beans. So, you know, my crock pot and everything, got the beans going and got the sausage in there, got the ham hock for the flavor and all that.
I know damn well you ain't eating no divine swine, are you?
No, just for flavor. It's just for flavor. The dog gets all.
How the hell you gonna say no just for flavor?
It's for the flavor. You can't do red beans without having the flavor in there. You got to have a hock in there.
Get your vegan hock. Get you a vegan hock. All right, y'all. So for real though, we'll be back tomorrow. And if y'all want, maybe we could talk about some relationship stuff, since that seems to be a pretty hot topic. I'll see if I can talk my daughter to at least sitting next to us, right? She's a cute girl. You know, she might come on camera. I don't know. So anyway, we'll try.
Just give her a split mic. You know, you don't have to see her. We can hear her.
Yeah, well, she can sit right next to me. So anyway, y'all, we will see y'all later. Y'all have a great evening. Stay safe, stay cool, and all of that. See y'all tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. Tell a friend and share it. So peace. And thank you, Marcus. Thank you, YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. Y'all have a great evening.